All right, we're here. And I'm not muted for the first time in a long time when we start an episode, so that's good. Can you guys all hear me? Let's just make sure in the chat. 1, if you can hear me. 5, if I could just go fuck myself. Either way, we lost monetization somewhere in the pre-roll, so that's fine. That's just how YouTube is. But yeah, thank you all for joining tonight. This is one of those topics that I think most of us kind of already understand why. But it's worth going over again, especially maybe if you're new to this community and you're wondering what the hell is going on with the dating scene. Why does it feel like it's so shitty? And why are these attractive women in their 30s and above, even some in their 20s, why are they always single? Why can't they find a man? Could it be they're the problem? We'll find out here in just a few. Spoiler alert, yes, they are the problem, but we're going to go into why. We do have a pretty good panel tonight. Looks like it filled out in the last second here, so it's good to see all these guys backstage. And another one. They learn now. They're like, this guy's going to pre-roll for like 20 minutes, so I can show up late and I'll still be on time. They're right. And I do the pre-roll just so you guys have time to see the show is actually live, because YouTube doesn't always show you that there's a show, so that gives you a chance to at least find it. Yeah, we've got a lot to get into tonight, so I should probably shut up with the waffling and move on. I've got a full panel. I'm just going to bring them all in. No introductions needed. You guys have seen them almost for a year now. I know we've got a couple newcomers, but we know pretty much everybody. We've got the official co-host. He's official now. I said official. Officially unofficial? Official co-host. Crusader Nate is with us this evening, living the dream as always. We're going to add in MGTOW Mando, who's been with us for quite some time, and we did a couple cool episodes with him. We've got MGTOW Outlaw, who's always the life of the party. I'm going to skip over his squirrel intro tonight for the sake of time, but we all know him and love him. We've got Tommy D in the house as well. Tommy D, good to see you here. We've got Sean St. George in the house with us. And finally, Billy goddamn fucking Bomb. And he looks like Billy with his Chinese bing bong curtains tonight. It's the actual Billy. Holy shit. I haven't seen that guy in like years. All right, gentlemen, welcome to the panel. Thank you for coming to the show. And I guess we'll just jump right the fuck into it. We've got some articles we can go into here shortly. For the sake of time, we might eliminate some of that, but I do have some shorts that I wanted to show off. And no, they're not the kind of shorts you wear. They're just shorts that I found on the internet that relate to this issue. Why are so many women perpetually single? Let's see. Let's roll this first clip.
Let me tell you the fundamental thing. The type of man that you want has options. He can choose Israel, India, Egypt.
Can I say I wouldn't want a man who didn't choose me?
The challenge is what you are bringing to the table, what you want. The other girls are not going to fight him for. You want him to support and join your team as well. These other two girls, India and Egypt, say, I will just join this team. I'm not trying to do all those. They have the advantage over you. You are combative. You are combative. When talking to you, we're going to have to argue. With those girls, you don't have to argue. So the challenge is going to be, why would he choose them over
wouldn't
you?
a man get bored by a woman who doesn't have any opinion or care at all?
Okay. And so the unfortunate reality is that is not true. And if you keep on viewing men view women the way you view men, you will keep on experiencing the same negative results over and over again. No, to answer your question, no, they will not get bored. It's actually peaceful.
There's the first one. Gentlemen, jump on in on that.
He nailed it.
I would say he's pretty much on target.
Yep, he nailed it.
Yeah. Women think we need a challenge, and to keep things interesting. No, we just want peace and fucking quiet. To be honest, yeah, and maybe some fun time, but that's about it. Like anything outside of that is a fucking headache. When we get down to it. So, any other thoughts on the panel before we move on to the next short?
I will say this much, just looking at the way that short was framed. Yeah, there was one woman talking, but all of them were thinking the exact same thing. You could see it in the way they were reacting.
Yeah. Yep. You're not wrong. All right, let's move on to this next one. This one has Candace Owens. Whether you like her or hate her, she makes a good point here.
A shocking new claim about the falling marriage rate is raising a lot of questions right now. A new study says the reason fewer people are getting married is because there's a shortage of, quote, economically attractive men.
Ask this question all the time. You complain about men, but are you being the type of a woman that a man would want, right? Maybe in the instant when men are not thinking with their big heads and they're saying, oh, whoa, she's half naked, great, I'm going to go for it. That might be what a man wants. But long term, that's not what a man wants. A man doesn't want a girl that's just going to be naked all the time and put herself out there available for every man to see. You know, that I don't have to be a man to know that that's not what men want. So then you say men suck. I'm looking at you going, I'm not a dude. I wouldn't date you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Again, self-perpetuating problem. Not enough women calling out the fact that women are not desirable right now, in my opinion, right? They're sexually desirable, but I wouldn't want to take you home to mom desirable.
Yeah, that is a big thing. So you see a lot of these girls on social media, whether it be Facebook or InstaTwat or Snapchat or wherever you might see them, and a lot of them, they're over-sexualized. TikTok, you name it. The list goes on and on. They're all about their looks. They're all about their filters. None of these women look this way in real life, by the way. And it's funny, some women will actually expose that and do their little filters. They'll look like all the other girls and then take the filter off. And you go, holy fuck. Like, what used to look normal and attractive after you've been, okay, I got to break this one down a little bit because this one actually bugs the shit out of me. All right, so let's go back in time. All right. Back in the day, you know, women always were wearing makeup, but you could pretty much tell what they look like. They weren't like wearing pounds of it. I mean, maybe in the 80s a little bit, but you get my drift. For the most part, you could tell what a woman looked like. Now with all these filters and all this bullshit, and on top of it, lip injections and plastic surgery, you never know what you're really looking at. And when you take that new filtered look of women and you take that mask off, it's quite a shock. And this is actually, I would call it indoctrination of the male brain, because your perception of what women look like, if you're on social media consistently, is absolutely drop dead gorgeous. Everybody's a Playboy model. Even Playboy models don't look as attractive as some of these filters make these women look. And that's the problem. So you take off all of that and you see women in real life, you're like, why do the women around me not look like these women? And the truth is, they're the same women. They're just not on the internet with all the filters. But it is interesting to see that. And I was, my background is a little bit of photography. I did some model photography. And I remember I used to, you know, I have to airbrush and touch up and remove imperfections and the whole thing, and maybe slim the waistline a little bit, put some makeup on where it wasn't looking right. I had to do the whole thing. I mean, I knew how to do makeup on women better than they did by the time I was done editing, you know. And that's the thing. Like you a lot of people don't realize that. A lot of people don't realize what they're looking at is fake. So when they go out in the real world and all these women just look like, you know, average women. I'm not even talking about fucking obese, you know, cows or anything. I'm just talking about normal women. A lot of men, like, they're like, wait, these aren't attractive women. No, they're just real women, and you've been sold a bunch of bullshit on the internet. That's part of the problem, ladies, is that you're trying to create this false, I don't know what fell again, something fell again. You're trying to create this false sense of reality that just isn't there. And that's what they call catfishing, right? But it's bad. It's bad because it damages, again, a dude might actually be attracted to you, your personality, everything about you, but you got him with this catfish picture, and then he meets you in real life or whatever, you know, and he's like, maybe I'll hit it and pass, but I'm not signing up for that because it's not what you sold me originally. Gentlemen, what are your thoughts on that before we continue?
Ditch pigs.
That's one way to put it.
No, I think she's right. They are a lot of women today. The ones that are actively seeking men, there's just so much artificial touching up that's being done. If it's not done digitally, it's done with makeup to the point where you don't really see who they really are, or you can't see any imperfections. That could give you clues on whether is this a good girl, bad girl, or do I need to fucking run now? Yeah.
Well, and it doesn't help when all these women copy each other. You probably noticed this. Let's go back to like, I mean, it's always been going on. It's herd mentality. But let's go back to like, I don't know. Let's pick MySpace, all right? The early frontier of social media. And you notice one girl did the duck face, and then everybody was doing the duck face. One girl got the tramp stamp. All girls got the tramp stamp. That goes back to kind of the 90s. Let me think of another one. Oh, the underboob tattoo. Now they all have the underboob tattoo. The cat eye makeup that sticks out to fucking halfway to their ears. Now they all do it, right? That's the thing. Like, one woman decides to be half naked all the time on her Instagram, and she gets lots of attention from a lot of men, and suddenly all women are doing it. But what they don't understand is that when you do that, a lot of men that would have normally dated you are now going out of their way not to speak to you because they see that as, for example, I even do it. Just as an observer, not even interested, but just observing. If I see a woman with over like 100 likes on her profile photo, like, I know immediately that's a woman I would never pursue if given the option, because she keeps those men for validation, attention, and quite frankly, she has a lot of fucking orbiters, and every single guy that likes her photo, I don't care who you are, every guy that likes her photo, every single one, unless he's like extravagantly gay, wants a piece of that. You know what I mean? And women act like, oh no, they're just my friends, I don't even talk to them, or whatever, whatever. Bullshit, and we all know it.
That sounds more like a waiting list.
It is a waiting list, absolutely.
Well, we've all seen it where there's these chicks out there who are regularly complaining about how they can't find a good man. They can't find the man that's quote unquote right for them. And yet they've got a dozen male friends in their neighborhood. And as soon as you say, well, what about John? Just randomly chosen name. And they're like, oh, he's like a brother to me. I don't want to do anything to hurt that relationship. Okay. He's told you for the last 5 years he would love to see what you're like in another room.
Yeah.
So
you're absolutely right, man.
Backups.
They all have them. Yeah. Other gentlemen on the panel that have been quiet thus far. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, Billy, what's your thoughts, buddy?
Yeah, Billy.
I don't know. Can you hear me now? Because I
We can hear
realized
you.
my mic was off.
No, you're good. You're
I'm
coming
hearing
clear.
you now. Oh, by the way, where is it? Cash App. Rhino Cash
Oh
App.
yeah, that fucking thing. Yeah, I tried that last night just to see if it worked, and it works pretty cool.
There
So
you
if
go.
you're into that tech stuff, you can point your phone right at that.
So you paid yourself?
Yeah, it's these chicks. They just follow one another. Like, just look at any of my dancing videos. A lot of them are just strung together because they're all doing the same fucking dance over and over and over again.
Yeah.
They're using filters, and all that stuff gets found out, right? I mean, if you're gonna go on a date with a chick and you show up and she doesn't look anything like her profiles or her videos, or I mean, as you know, we're doing an experiment right now with that stuff that we've created a completely fake woman. So
yeah,
I just feel bad for the guys who get involved with these. The ones I really feel bad for are the guys who get involved with who they think is a woman, and then they show up and it's a fucking dude.
Yeah.
yeah.
And there's something to be said about that. Some of these dudes, and I'm not saying, one way or another, but the point is like some of these dudes that do that look more like a woman than the women do nowadays, which is, they do a better job than the women. I'm like, holy fuck, that's disturbing. But there's some truth behind that. And then we get to the question, what is a woman? And that was a little documentary. It's a good fucking question, because what she is online is not what she is in real life. It's what is a woman anymore, and that's been normalized. Like I said, Instagram, TikTok, all of these women are just fake now. I mean, and these young guys, they're okay. So, back in the fucking day, I'm not even that old. But you had the Ornpay mags, right? You open those things up, and that's fucking good-looking ladies in there. But that was the beauty standard back then. But it was still somewhat attainable, somewhat real. Some of it was a little outlandish, but for the most part, those were real women. But now, like all this cosplay, ooh, whatever the hell's going on now, these young guys have no idea what the hell a woman is supposed to look like because they're all supposed to be built like, I don't know. It's disturbing. Actually, you know the worst part about all this, and again, not to waffle too much, but a lot of these women on these social media sites that are like doing the attention and validation thing, and again, it's herd mentality, so they all start doing it. They're all doing this preteen look. Like they're trying to look like children, which is
disturbing.
Ladies, are you not seeing a fucking problem here that you're trying to find men or trying to get men to be attracted to? I don't need to say it.
Certain kind of men who
jump on in there.
Yeah,
sorry about that.
I was gonna say the certain kind of men who do have that attraction, they don't want that attention.
Nope.
Yeah. Yep.
But I'm sure Crusader can actually either verify or deny this, but I don't think that it's really that they're looking for men that are actually looking for that demographic, but it's they're playing off of men's hardwired urge for something that is young enough to more than likely be fertile from the evolutionary standpoint.
Crusader, I'm going to have you jump in on that, but I do want to point out there is a definition for that. It's called neoteny. And it's the same reason why girls take pictures like that and why guys take pictures looking down on the camera. This is actually a psychological thing, which Crusader can probably get into a lot better than I can, so I'll let him take the floor. But neoteny is the term you're looking at there.
Yeah, well, a lot of those things, women are trying to do when they do those photos like that, they know that men are bigger than them. They're looking for men that are bigger than them. So what they're trying to do is to put themselves in those situations and scenarios. Men are doing the same thing to women. This is a whole other rabbit hole we can go down on a later date.
Right.
But yeah, women are very much chameleons with what they do. They will go along to get along and do whatever they have to do to satisfy their basal survival instinct of feeling vulnerable in any open scenario and situation, and they're looking to land a man that will keep them secure in their innate biological vulnerability, to put it simply.
Yeah, I would say you're correct there. And yeah, and regarding neoteny, it is youthful appearance, which is what, and you know, there is some validity behind that. You know, I would say of legal age, obviously, but when men talk about fertile, fit, friendly, all that, youth and beauty go hand in hand. So that is what neoteny is. Bottom line, it's youth. All right, but again, these women are pushing that line into like dressing like children. It's just it's disturbing. It's very fucking disturbing, but it is what it is. I think we'll go ahead and jump into the first article we have tonight. Let me throw a panel back on the screen here really quick and get that pulled up. This is going to be from themodernman.com. Let me see if I can find it on my screen here because it's all over the place. What a mess I've made.
No surprise.
Yeah. Wow. All right, guys, waffle for a minute because I got to find this thing buried in this 20 pile of articles I have.
Whoa, he's asking us to waffle?
Yes, waffle.
Hey, everybody be silent.
Check this out. Here's Rhino's RAM.
Oh shit.
There it is. That's going to fix your computer.
Well, I appreciate that, man. Because we tried to test prior to the show, and it was all pegged, just trying to pop up these videos in a media player instead of on StreamYard. It was a whole fucking situation. Anyway, continue the waffling. I really got to find this article.
I've actually got a question that's kind of actually on topic for a change, not really waffle-esque.
All right.
We can fix that.
Thinking back to just a second when, with all the flack that that men and women have been getting just asking this question of late, there's a phrase that comes to mind when you get more flack when you're over the target. You think someone in society's finally starting to realize that they've created a problem by making it where men don't know when it's actually safe to approach.
Yes. Yes. We actually will be getting into that. Some of that is Me Too. They created a situation in which men are afraid to approach women because, quite frankly, I don't know about you, but I don't want to say hi to the wrong woman and have the police called on me. Matter of fact, that's one of my shorts. If I can remember which one it is, we'll get there eventually. But yes, there is a point to that. They are starting to realize, oh wait, maybe this feminism thing isn't working out the way we want to. Now that most women are predicted to be childless and single for the rest of their lives, going forward from 2030. But yeah, I think they're starting to feel that they may have fucked up. We do have two others backstage. All that I ask you guys is, unless I specifically request it, we stay to a minimum on waffles tonight. And again, if somebody's full screen and talking, please allow them to finish their thoughts before you jump in. All right, Jackal, Pain in the Jackal. He's suited up tonight. Not sure why. Whoa. He looks like a domestic terrorist on a date. Welcome to the show, Jackal.
Okay.
He's both the Bloods and the Crips.
He's both. All right. And then we do have Spy Balloon as well. So welcome to the show. And we'll move on from there. I don't think we can top that. Thank you for suiting up, though. You look very nice, and all that. Yes. All right. Let's get into this. Go ahead.
Wait, what? Oh no, I was just going to say. Yeah, one quick thought about this before we move on. What you're seeing is an experimental stage with these people of having way too much freedom of choice. They're trying to plug and play and see what works with the people they've got in mind, who they want. That's what it comes off to me as. And this is why you're seeing all this ooh shit, this anime shit, cross-dressing shit. It's because the internet has given people so much of a freedom of choice. They don't know what to do with it. They're lost.
Yeah,
but that's
I would agree with that.
Opinions on it.
That actually makes a lot of sense.
A little bit. All right, let's see. St. Louis Arch says here, thank you, sir. He says, RPR is getting a hang of managing a podcast thing down both well and quickly. I am trying, sir. There are nights where I'm going, holy fuck, but I am working on it. All right, we've got our first article here, themodernman.com. Why don't women approach men? Well, they never had to, historically. And this is something we talked about before the show, too, which we can discuss as we go on. But who set the rule that men have to do all the work and pay for everything? Who set the fucking rule? I don't know. Seems like a silly rule to me, but that's the world we were born in. So we can discuss that here in a minute. We might be now living in a time that is a far cry from the hunter and gatherer world that our distant ancestors lived in. But when it comes to the basics of sexual attraction, not much has changed. Oh, and by the way, I think now if I point this way, I switched this for a reason because I'm used to pointing at, yeah. Anyway, now it works. It's on the right side or the left side. Anyway, modern women still want men to have confidence to approach them rather than women having to be ballsy enough to approach men. Women still want to be the chosen one rather than the one who does the choosing. Why? Well, it all comes down to survival instincts. I guess we'll get the answer to the question I just asked. But to be honest, I get it. But gentlemen on the panel, I'm just going to see really quick, just aye or nay. If a woman approached you, an attractive woman, it doesn't even have to be an attractive woman, maybe just an average woman, right? But if a woman approached you and said, hey, I think you're cute, would her odds not go way the fuck up on you saying, yeah, let's go out or something? What are your thoughts, panel?
Yeah? If she wasn't morbidly obese?
All right. It was
I would ask her what the fuck she really wants.
Yeah, well, there's that.
True.
All right.
There's the meme that we shared earlier this week. Sorry.
It depends on the setting.
All right. Yeah. So there's a meme that's been shared around Facebook, and I shared it in the Gilded. It is a woman's creative idea that when they're out at the bar, they want to get a dude's attention. You know, don't do like what I guess women usually do, which is twirl hair or show signs that men like us are terrible at understanding. Send him a basket of buffalo wings.
I don't like
because that will definitely get a man's attention. Like
Good,
Mom
you're gay.
says.
Yeah, that was something I just posted the other day. Like, yeah, that would absolutely work. If a woman's at the bar and she's, has somebody slide some buffalo wings my way, yeah, that would be fine. By the way, if I misquoted that, I need to read this again in case I fucked that up. Why don't women approach men? Okay, in case I said that wrong. I think I might have. Anyway,
don't worry,
a woman's attraction to a man is directly... All right, a woman's attraction... All right, guys.
To the person that said, I don't like wings. So.
All right, here we go. A woman's attraction to a man is directly linked to potential to survive, thrive, and protect her. It's often difficult for guys to remember that we're literally living on a planet in an apparently infinite universe of possibilities. Down here on planet Earth, life has always been challenging for humans, and there have always been threats to survival, both personally and as a species. Okay, we're gonna summarize this one. We don't want to get in way too deep in the article. Despite all the progress that humanity has made, we are still often just a natural disaster away from basic survival. That is absolutely true. If October 4th that Billy talked about in our last episode comes to pass in the worst case scenario, it's going to be really nightmare fuel for a while. But people are resilient, and we've overcome everything thrown at us through at least 6,000 years of recorded history. Okay, so all of this bullshit going on right now with women being super choosy and being, for lack of better terms, kuantahas about this whole dating thing, that would change overnight. It would be the man that knows how to hunt and fish and make a fire that is suddenly going to be important, not the guy with the yacht. Okay, so just keep that in mind. Just because, and that doesn't mean that you fall for it either. Okay, that's the important thing, because there's going to be a lot of chameleons. I actually talked about that. There are 2 episodes I did on chameleons if you want to check those out. Just because everyone is showered and wearing nice clean clothes in bars, nightclubs, and cafes and in shopping malls, it doesn't mean that they can be forced into basic survival in an instant. It's highly unlikely that a natural disaster is going to strike your city tomorrow, leaving you cut off from food, power, water, and having to fend for yourself. But it is a possibility. Even though women never talk about these things, it is possible threats to her survival that really drive her attraction to a man, obviously. And I can break that down really simply and quickly. It's the need for a provider, a provisioner, and a protector. Okay, that's bottom line. That is what a woman's attracted to. If you look like a soft fucking limp dick motherfucker that, drinks more soy than is humanly possible, there's a good chance she's not attracted to you, okay? If you look like you might be a little bit dangerous, there might be a precedent why she's interested in bad boys. There's a reason for that. Also, want to point things out, because I have actually taken notes for tonight's episode. I fully loaded this one. This is something that I want you to notice as well. And gentlemen, you guys watching the show and you on the panel might both recognize this. So a lot of women do date bad boys, but there's a reason for this. And we tell them this. You'll see women say, why can't I find a good man? Well, here's the thing. Usually in public settings where women want men to approach, anywhere, doesn't just have to be the club or the bar, but again, there's something to be said about men that hang out at clubs and bars, and that's part of what I'm getting to here. Most men that are decent men that would actually be good long-term partners respect women's boundaries. And I don't mean that in a puss way. I mean that in like, they're not just going to hit it and quit it. Like they actually would probably want a long-term commitment, right? So they might think in a grocery store, and I'm not saying it's not a lack of confidence thing. It's more like it's not an appropriate place, right? So most men are not going to hit on a woman in a grocery store while she's looking at the fucking food she's going to buy, because he might think that's inappropriate to just startle her. Plus, she might be in a relationship. I just don't want to take those chances, right? And then the woman goes, well, why doesn't he approach? But the men that will approach her will have no respect for her boundaries, and quite frankly is the guy that's going to smash and pass on her. And this is the guy she ends up dating all the time, and then turns around and goes, well, he was a jerk, and he cheated on me. Well, yeah, because you picked the guy that had no respect for boundaries to begin with. He just wanted in your pants. That's why he didn't care if he approached you at the store. He didn't care if he approached you at the library or the park or whatever, because he was just there to hit and smash and grab, essentially, right, and then leave. And that's the thing. That's another problem is women are expecting the good guys. I don't mean the good guys. Those are usually scumbags, but they expect these guys to just approach. That's not how it works. So ladies, the three of you watching or any of you that might share this with a woman, no, you're going to have to learn to approach, especially in the Me Too era. There aren't a lot of men out there that are willing to gamble away their lives just because they want to say hello to you. Because if he's attractive to you, that's great. But if he's not, he's a stalker. And that's fucked up. And you set that precedent, ladies. You did that to yourselves. Panel, back to you.
Okay, this is going to sound like a really weird tangent, but it does correspond to the subject. About a week and a half ago, my company had a sexual or corporate sexual harassment training. Before that happened, me and a lady in my workplace who's the same age I am, who we both know that neither of us are on the table. We get along good. We're buddies. That's it. We were chatting when we found out about that, and we're both like, it would be a nice change of pace if someone would sexually harass either one of us. It would actually imply that somebody is interested.
They don't approach. Go ahead.
Oh no!
Go ahead. Go ahead and show Nate. Nate was ahead of me.
I'm trying to figure out who's where. Okay. Crusader, jump on in.
All right. Well, I'm just sitting here. Women want to sit there and complain that they're not being approached. They're wondering, where are all the good men? Or how come I can't find this? Well, I'll tell you right now, here's a little bit of brutal honesty, women and ladies out there, both of you watching this that may be watching this in the future. Why don't you work on yourselves and make yourself a better person so you're worth being approached?
Yeah. To add on to that point really quick, and then we're going to jump over to Sean and Outlaw. That's exactly it. Like, ladies, let me cue you in. That like half naked thing you all seem to think is getting men's attention. You're attracting again the guy that I just mentioned that wants to like just hit and quit. That's who you're attracting. For all of you that think it is sexy and classy to just be a stripper, essentially online, and I know you're going to say, well, I'm not actually stripping. I don't have an OnlyFans. I'm just half naked all the time on the internet. Same difference, ladies. You're attracting the guys that want to hit and quit. This is your fault. If you're not attracting good men, look in the fucking mirror. All right. Let's jump over to Sean, and then we'll get over to Outlaw.
Okay. So did you get the screen share I sent you?
I see it. Do you want me to pop it up on screen here?
Yeah. You want to know why people don't approach, or one of the reasons why they stay single? I mean, Chad over there probably has what you guys call it, spinning plates. Susan's probably not on that list. But they're saying the exact same thing, but they're giving an entirely different response, and it's a very polarized response. One is an adornment, the other is a feeling of threatened. Just because somebody says, you look good today, they're going to... Uh-oh. Doggo found something. Let me deal with that.
All right, we'll move on to Outlaw's point here.
I actually lost my train of thought.
Well, God damn it.
Man.
That's
all right. Then
boy. So can I say something?
Yep.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yes, sir.
So if you remember a year ago, I did a little experiment. I went on Bumble, remember? Remember that? So, that's all the women have to approach you, on that. And I just found that I was just being so picky. I was like, nope. Like they all I disqualified like all of them.
Well, yeah, they know the reality of the rejection. They know there's a real fear of rejection there. That's why they rely on men to do it. And they've been trained to believe and subconsciously expect men to do it. Just another task that men are tasked with is approaching first, because women, they won't admit it, or some of them might, but they are actually very well aware and afraid of the rejection that comes from being the approachee.
You mean the approacher?
Yeah.
Yeah, and jumping back into this article
And
really quick because it kind
if I
of
could
ties
just-
in. Oh, yeah. Oh shit!
What?
Let me press the right
Me.
button.
I think that was Billy, wasn't it?
That was yes, Billy. So
I gotta
and
press the
what
right
I
button.
what I found was really funny about that little experiment on the Bumble thing. They have to contact you, and almost all of them only said hi, hello.
Yeah, of course.
Like
The
nothing.
same thing they give. The same
I'm
thing
like-
they give men shit for.
Like so low energy. I'm like, can you try any less?
Yeah. Well, and that, like I said, that's the same thing they give men shit for. Like, look, what do you want from me? If I was in the situation where I was single, like I'm a numbers guy, I really fucking am. I'll admit to the sleaze bag I am. I'll go on social media and just high 40 of you. I don't fucking care that much. The first one that responds and can hold a conversation for more than 5 seconds, I'm going to see where that goes, and I play that numbers game over and over again if I were in that position, okay? But, like, I'm not putting a fuck ton of effort. Ladies, you want us to tell you some life story or make you laugh right away. No, I'm just seeing if I can walk in the door. And if I'm not welcome in the door, I'm not putting in any effort. All right. But this, again, what Billy said, this is the same thing women give men shit for, and they do the same thing. Hi. All right. But where men, if they're interested, are more or less, oh, she said hi. Okay, I'll pursue that. But you ladies want, like, way too fucking much. It's stupid. We do have a late bloomer, a very late bloomer. Welcome, Ike, to the show. All right.
Hello.
Welcome, sir. Okay, looks like it stayed on the screen. It didn't transition over, but he is back there. But let's get through this really quick. This goes into what... Yes, this goes back into what I was referring to. Oh, by the way, let me unmute everybody again. Just remember, if somebody is talking on the panel, hold as best you can. I know everybody has a lot to say, but just out of respect for the panel and to keep the show running smoothly, we got to watch that, especially with large panels. Essentially, are you the sort of guy who can stay strong, be smart, and survive when things get rough? Or are you the type of guy that would have trouble surviving amongst alpha males, right? If you suddenly had to approach people and make friends and alliances in a basic survival situation, would you be an alpha male that other men respect, or would you be ignored, pushed around, or taken advantage of? What would she have to make alliances with people because you lack the social confidence to approach and talk to people? There is a lot of truth behind this. This goes into psychology, survival, and everything else. We're not going to read the whole article, but we'll go a little bit further. We're going to keep sound effects to a minimum as well.
Sorry.
That's all right. That's all right. Different type of show tonight. Again, it's highly unlikely that you would be put into a position in our modern shopping mall society, but it is a possibility. And at the core of a woman's attraction for a man is her instinctive analysis of his ability to survive should shit hit the fan. And that is where we'll leave that article. But there is something to be said about a man who could survive shit hits the fan. I advocate for it. I'm still half screened. That's weird. Half cocked. There we go. Am I better now? I'm better now. No, there is something to be said about this. And this shouldn't be for women. Again, gentlemen, this should be for you. A woman's going to find you more attractive because you've worked on you. But yeah, you should know how to hunt. You should know how to fish. You should know how to, field dress an animal. You should know basic survival skills. How to put up a lean-to. Things like that. How to sharpen a fucking knife, for fuck's sake. How to change your own oil. Let's just start with that. Can you change your own oil? Right?
Let me tell you, there is a lot of useless people in this world who do not know how to do any of that shit. Any of it at all.
Yeah.
They know how to make an appointment on their phone.
Hang on, Ike. Yeah, I'll let you jump in just a second here, but there's something to be said about that. Gentlemen, a lot of you, we've got some kind of background noise here I got to figure out. A lot of you, watching the show, maybe a lot of you watching in the future, maybe some of you that are just tuning in for the first time. A lot of you are like, well, why can't I find a woman? Maybe some of you still want that. A lot of you don't, and I understand that, and I don't fucking blame you, to be honest. But a lot of you still do, and I think at the core most men do in an ideal world, right? But why can't I find one? Again, just what Sean said about the women, maybe stop being half-dressed fucking hoers, right? Be something worth a man's attention. Same with you, men. Be like, if you were a woman, would you date you? And not because I'm a nice guy, I'm a good guy. I don't give a fuck how soft your hands are, dude. Can you fucking survive if shit gets tough? That's what we're talking about. If you can't do that, don't expect the woman to fucking feel safe in front of you. If she wouldn't feel safe putting her life on the line, like being around you, she's not going to want to date you. That's it. Okay, because we could say that relationships and love and all that is based on respect, and if she can't respect you and trust you, she's not going to have attraction for you. No matter how good looking you are, she'll have no attraction for you. That's a little hint, gentlemen. Work on yourselves. Learn how to change the fucking oil, change the tire, stuff like that, or at least patch a fucking tire. Learn how to. You ever seen those patch kits in Walmart? Pick one up. Next time you get a nail in the tire, rather than fucking putting on a spare and running to fucking Walmart to save your ass, put the fucking patch kit in there yourself. Learn how to do that. You know, those are little things you can learn, you know, and make yourself more self-reliant, I guess is what I'm trying to say. Go ahead and jump in on this.
I was going to ask about, you were talking about survival skills and whatnot. Does blacksmithing count just like a survival skill? Something like if everything goes tits up, it's something that you could learn and be able to like make a knife. You mentioned sharpening a knife, but being able to make a knife is a skill that not a lot of people have.
Yeah. Anything that makes a man useful, a useful skill, not fucking accounting and marketing. Although I guess you could see where that would be useful in a civilized society, but in a shit hits the fan situation, knowing how to use tools, knowing how to blacksmith, knowing how to raise crops. Those are things that are actual skills. You know, your accounting shit, that's great, but if the shit goes to hell.
I want to put this out. I want to put this out there real quick. Anybody that's in my area, I'm in the Portland metro area, sort of. I'm not in Portland, but I'm close enough to say it's Portland. But if anybody's interested and you're in the area, I would 100% be willing to do like at least a basic blacksmithing class for you for free.
There you go.
Like send me an email, seriouslycast@gmail.com. We can pound out some details. 100% I'll be more than willing to let you do that. And I said for free, but I'm at least going to require a 6-pack of beer.
Okay. And on that note, Billy, what were you going to say there?
Yeah, what was I? I was going to say an influencer. Does that count?
No, I hate to say it because we're both in that field. I guess I don't even like calling myself that.
I'm not an influencer at all.
Yeah, we're just fucking guys on the internet.
No, but people like aspire to be influencers.
I want to spend my life online. Yeah, fuck you. No, that is not a useful skill.
Hey,
all right.
Rhino, I've got something I'd like to tag in on, if I may.
Jump on it.
I actually tried at winter before last when I went up for a battle assembly up in Kansas City. I tried a little experiment, kind of along the lines of what you're talking about with the whole look tough, look useful type thing.
Yeah.
It was a 4-day battle assembly. So I was up at the hotel for 3 nights. First night, because I'd come right from my workplace, I didn't try this experiment. The second night, I went to a sports bar type location, a local convenience store, and the hotel lounge in my combat uniform.
Yeah.
Just to see what kind of reactions I would get. And I had 3 or 4 ladies that were working there, or in the case of the hotel, were staying there, come up, talk to me, try to get my number, all this other stuff. Then the last night I was staying there before heading back home, I went there in just my usual casual attire, which for me is a pair of nice fitting jeans, nice fitting boots. Because it was winter, it was a long sleeve shirt and a medium leather jacket.
Yep.
No one approached.
Yeah. Not shocked on that.
Nope.
I got a theory on that.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to hear it or you
no,
want
go
to
ahead.
move on.
Yeah, we're going to roll into the next clip, but I'll let you jump in there.
Military uniforms, I think, have a certain level of pre-selection.
Yeah.
Because they're always typically, well, you got to go through basic combat training. You at least know how to probably shoot, and probably in women's deluded minds think that we're all fucking Rambo, but we're not. But with that perception of somebody being in uniform, because I've noticed the same thing too, Mando, where if you are you're in uniform, you garner a lot more attention than when you're out of uniform.
Mm-hmm.
You could be the exact same person they met. They will treat you or even forget who you were. Even if you showed up in uniform, talk to a chick, you go walk outside, 5 minutes later, you're in civvies, you approach her again, probably doesn't even remember you at all.
Doesn't recognize you,
No, he is exactly right. And that is literally the experiment, or what part of the experiment that I did at the hotel.
Yep.
It was the same girl working the front desk both of the nights that I tried this experiment. When I got back to the hotel, I said hi to her, went up, changed into my civvies, left through the side door, did the experiment at the same sports bar, same other couple of places I went to. And when I went in through the front door, she was like, "Oh, do you need to check in?"
Yeah.
I was like, No, I literally spoke to you an hour ago. And she was like, "No, you didn't." I pulled out my ID card. I'm like, "Does this guy look familiar?" And she goes, "Oh."
Right. Yeah, not shocked by that at all. On that note, we're going to jump into the next clip here and keep this rolling right along. Like I said, we got a lot of material to cover tonight, so I'm going to try to keep it on the rails the best I can. This one, again, like her, hate her, that's your prerogative. I'm not here to judge right now. Okay. You know my feelings on certain female content creators, but for relevance of the show, I'm going to pop this up.
To be honest, I'd rather just be a little lonelier than deal with all the hassle of dating. I'm really not in a place emotionally and financially where I can deal with sorting through a bunch of misses to find a missus. Nowadays, with dating apps, there's always something new and more exciting just around the corner. So many women I've dated have abruptly broken things off because they found something more exciting. Dating is like taking on a part-time job. I don't have the time or the energy. I'm sure all of you can relate to that. Social media, Hollywood, and porn have really altered the expectations of the general public across the board when looking for a mate. It's actually really messed up psychologically when a person thinks about it. Specifically, unrealistic expectations are held by people who conveniently hold themselves to extremely low standards but feel entitled to the best. More specifically, unrealistic expectations are held by people who act like victims when they're confronted with equally high expectations.
And apparently something changed on me there. I'm not sure what or when my volume levels changed and the layout of the screen changed. So we're good though. Yeah, and she makes a point there. These women have so many options. And, back in the day, long fucking before I was even around, before I was even a thought, probably before my parents were even a thought, you would meet somebody in the town. And you'd court them, and then eventually parents would approve, you'd get married, and you'd have a fucking happily ever after. Or so they said. So legend goes. Nowadays, women hop on the fucking interwebs. Yeah, they've got, it's what I'm recording with. I was going to say, they got this thing in their pocket that has, at any given time, 4.5 billion penises potentially in it. Just in their pocket. It's amazing. You can fit 4 billion penises in your pocket now. It's fucking fantastic for them, right? But not so much for you, because if you're not exciting enough, if you're not, that extra inch. Oh, well, he's 6'2". You were only 6'1". Jesus, fuck, it's so pathetic. Here's another thing. Ladies, your standards are so inflated. It's not funny. The female delusion calculator. Go check that out if you haven't already. Just Google it. Female delusion calculator. It's going to have like cat litter bags. You'll see it. Little survey you can do. Just punch in your numbers. As if you're a man, right? Just punch in your height, your age, your income, and see how many percentage of you actually exist. You'll be shocked how small that is. Women want the 6-pack, 6 figures, 6 foot or bigger. Now they want like 6'11". And that's like, you put in those numbers and it's less than 1% of the world population of men. Like, these women are just out of their fucking mind. But again, when they have a million options in their pocket and, they've got you, no offense to any of you guys, because you're all normal fucking guys. I'm a normal fucking guy. I have a normal fucking job. I live a normal fucking life in a normal fucking apartment. I'm not nothing special, and I don't pretend to be like some guys with a Bugatti. Okay, I'm not gonna play that game. All right, we're just normal dudes. They got you as an option that goes to work for 9 to 5 or whatever. Maybe you work more or less. I don't know. Doesn't matter. And then you got some guy in Dubai that'll fly her out and let her ride around on her camel or his camel and fucking see the fancy city. And we already just said we wouldn't talk about Dubai on the show anymore, but you know what happens there. Point is, she can get flown out and blown out by Kobe Bryant tomorrow. What chance the fuck do you have? And if you don't think that's happening, talk to some of your, if you got any, you got girlfriends, right? Just kind of break the ice with them. Be like, hey, so you ever done anything crazy? Just listen to them, be completely accepting. This is the trick to get inside a woman's head. You just go, oh man, that's fucking crazy. Tell me more, and that she'll tell you all of her dirt. Like, how many celebrities have you fucked? Or how many athletes? Any of the guys from the local football team? And you'll be fucking blown away what these women say. That'll scare you. That'll scare you. But that's the thing. They can fuck whoever they want. They got that thing in their fucking pocket. They just whip it out. Boom, 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 boom. And there's plenty of men lining up. Anyway, back to the panel really quick.
It's like Terrence Pop says on a regular. Any woman can go into any bar, restaurant, church even, in this country, stand up at the very front of the room and go, I'm available for the next 20 minutes. Anyone down to insert adjective here.
Mm-hmm.
A guy goes and does that. He's going to have the cops called.
Mm-hmm. That actually goes into our next clip. So I'm going to roll that really quick and we'll get back to panel's thoughts. Having a little bit of a lag issue. I can hear the computer fucking fan spinning. So you know how that goes. You've been watching me long enough. You know what's going on. We're going to get that fixed. Billy pointed part of that out. We got something else coming too. So we'll figure it out. But in the meantime, bear with me. But this goes into Mando's.
In today's society, if a man goes up to a woman and asks her for her number or Snapchat, he's looked at as like a creep and a pervert. But if a woman goes up to a man, it's 100% okay, which is not okay to me.
How likely are men to have sex with a lonely woman out of pity?
I guess it depends on who you ask. I'd say pretty likely.
How likely are women to have sex with lonely men out of pity?
Oh, unlikely. They just want men that are rich and famous.
That deserves the more you know.
Yeah, that one's factual. Back to you, panel. What are your thoughts?
Well, was it Plenty of Fish or a Tinder survey that was out years ago where women only kind of swiped on like the top 20% of men, while 80% of men are swiping like on anything?
That was Plenty of Fish, and that survey came out right before I deleted that account.
It was Plenty of Fish.
That was something recommended by one of our members of Gilded. By the way, if you want to join the Gilded community, head over to redpillrhino@hotmail.com. Just let me know you want to join. Send me something so I know who you are, and then we can add you there, and you can talk with us backstage 24/7.
Sometimes literally.
Somebody wanted to have me bring this up. Women are to the point now where they are. They're. You look at the way they swipe. It's no on 80. Some people say 90% of men now, and they're all sharing. This is the thing. They're sharing the top 10%. Now, we're talking about women and why they're perpetually single. I think we're making a case for that so far. But let me also say that more men are single than women right now. Why is that? If most men are single at the moment, because women are sharing the top 20% of men. But don't you worry. The rich guys are getting sick of it too. If you go to Valuetainment Money, I'm not going to play the clip for you, but look for the video, Wes, W-E-S. Give you a second to write this down and take a mental note. Wes Goes Ham. Just type that into YouTube. Watch that video. Rich dudes are sick of these women too. So when we talk about, well, the top 20% of men can get any women they want. No, they don't want them either, because all of these women have the same entitled, fresh and fit panel and mentality in this country. All of these women are fucking useless anymore. They've all got this stuck up, I expect you to pay for dinner and pay all the bills, and I'm just supposed to sit here, look pretty, and maybe once in a while you'll get some fucking puss. That's about it. No, fuck you, ladies. And so on that note, yeah, the guys with all the money, the top 20%ers, those guys, they're also saying, fuck this. I can just go overseas where they're much more complacent. And I get this. It's not for everybody. Don't do the, the whole passport bro thing. Most guys can't afford that. I'm not saying it's not an option. I'm just saying that's not the only option. But they make a point. I can go over to another country where women treat me good, or I can be here and date hotties, but they're also a pain in my ass, so what's the fucking point, right? So, anyway, panel, back to you again.
Everybody's quiet tonight.
Well,
well, I mean, look, we've talked about this stuff before. It's like how many homeless women you see on their own? Hardly any. Whereas, plenty of men are going to be on their own, because there's, men will they'll take whatever they can get. Whereas the women are, they can, because they have such a plethora of penis to go around. So, and real quick, Rusty Rivers wants to get on. I don't know if there's room though.
Yeah, he's not on the Gilded, but
okay. Does anybody know how to reach out to him outside of the?
I told him to send me an email, and I don't think he got that.
Okay, I'm just gonna cheat code this. If I see you and you are not him, and Rusty, you know what? Stand by. Go ahead and jump in really quick.
What are your thoughts, Nate?
So, just real quick, you guys talked about the. Sorry, it's Nate on the screen. Okay, you guys were talking about Plenty of Fish and whatnot. There was a girl that I was talking to at a bar once. It's a friend of mine, like a really good friend of mine. She's kind of chunky, and so I told her that, like, me swiping right or whichever direction gets you the match, that yielded like little to no results. And she's like, I doubt that. I'm like, okay, let's do a thing. I swipe right 10 times, see how many matches I get. You swipe 10 times, see how many matches you get. I swiped right, 0. She swiped right, she got 7.
God damn. Yeah, all right. And I just saw that. What do we have here? Rusty,
we have a
looks
full
like
panel.
we were full for a minute. Tommy just dropped out. Looks like he's on his way out for the night, but
he did
gotta be Rusty back there.
Maybe he's going to go clean his room.
Well, he did mention needing to work tomorrow, so he's got to
Billy
pop out.
Billy, at this point, you should put Jordan Peterson as your subtitle. Clean your room.
There you go. All right. We've got Rusty backstage. I'm going to go ahead and bring him on here in just a moment. I think what we're going to do right now is actually go to break. So if you need to empty your bladders, fill your beers, whatever you got to do, go ahead and do that. I will see you in about 5 minutes. But yeah, we're going to take a quick break, and then we're going to jump into some more articles and videos. We've got quite a bit more to go through, but we'll try to keep it short on time. And like I said, we'll see you on the other side. latest edition. I've got some noise I got to figure out here. What is going on in the background? There, problem solved. All right, that was Jeffrey Paul's latest cover. Be sure to check him out, Jeffrey Paul on YouTube. I don't know why that man isn't a household name. He does everything you heard there. Fucking fantastic job. Let me go ahead and jump into this next one before we move too much further along, because like I said, I have a lot to cover and I want to get through it. We got to stay a little bit tighter on topics and not waffle on as much. But let's get into this one real quick, and then I'm gonna bring in Rusty as well. If it works, there we go. Cool.
This comment is really funny because I very much doubt that.
Somebody basically said that once she hits the wall, nobody's gonna be in her DMs, and this is her response.
Because first of all, I'm hot. Bruh. Secondly, y'all are so desperate. I will have men in my DMs when I'm 80. My grandma, my great grandma, she had like 4 or 5 boyfriends before she died, and no one knew. Like, none of her boyfriends knew about each other. And they all showed up at her funeral.
I'm out, man.
And I have her genes. So, I'm not worried. I'm not too worried.
She's not too worried. She's not too worried. I can see him screaming. You gotta unmute
Does he know
yourself,
he's muted?
Though. No, he's muted. He's gonna talk about Polska Bomb's background. If that
I changed your picture, Bob. I put a sexy
Yes.
Apu here for you.
It's terrible. I'm glad
Welcome.
we stopped the video for that. All right, let's go ahead and bring in Rusty. Rusty, how are you doing this evening, sir?
Man, if I was doing any better, I'd be a twin.
All right.
Okay.
I'm a twin. I'm a twin, just FYI.
On that note, we're going to jump back into this shit show of a video here. She really thinks she's just hot shit. I don't know if I agree.
But here's the thing, Rhino. Like, she's not wrong. There's going to be guys who are going to be hitting her up when she's 60, 70, 80. They ain't going to say anything. They ain't going to tell their friends. Just like the guys who will hit the fat chicks, right? And not say anything to their buddies.
No.
But they're hitting it.
Billy, you're right. You're right. The guys are going to be hitting her up, or their names are going to be Rhino.
Oh.
Well, hang on. Can I also point something out when it comes to the? She said
yes.
She said her grandmother had 4 boyfriends and none of them knew about one another. Well, no bloody kidding. They all had Alzheimer's and forgot their names 30 seconds after they did the deed.
Yeah.
So you want to hear a funny one real quick?
Yeah. Jump
about
in.
this kind of stuff. So back when I was still in the dating bullshit, I went out on a date with this woman. You know, we went to dinner or whatever, and then she's telling me that she has a dude already that just comes and they do the deed. And she wants like a guy who just wants to, to go to like dinner with and go to shows. And I'm like, are you fucking for real?
No, she's using you.
I'm like, fucking get the fuck out of here.
You know
But
what?
that's like a lot of women these days are,
Well,
that's
can I-
not so crazy.
Yeah,
Can I speak to the
hang on.
80-year-old grandma thing?
2 seconds. What you're saying, I've heard myself from women that I've talked to as well over the years. You mean to tell me that you have friends with benefits because you have sexual urges, but you're still looking for your soulmate? I'm sorry. That doesn't work. You cannot have your cake and eat it too. If you are getting your rocks off with some dude, but we don't have any connection, I don't care. You have a connection. As long as that's going on, any guy that would have been your person doesn't exist. I'm sorry, that's not how the real world works. If I'm out here, actually, that's a little bit twisted because women will actually pre-select if a guy can get other women. But if I'm out here smashing a woman repeatedly, you know what? Better yet, let me change it. If I'm paying for half of a woman's, if I'm paying for a woman's bills, right? We're gonna put it in perspective. Women will understand. If I'm paying for a woman's bills, another woman, and a woman comes along interested in me, and I say, yeah, but there's this girl, I pay for her phone bill and rent, this woman's going to say, fuck you, I'm out. That's the same thing, ladies. If a dude is coming along and smashing you, serious dudes aren't going to fucking be interested. So maybe that'll make sense for the ladies watching. Yeah, if I'm paying another woman's bills, no woman in fucking hell is going to come along and say that's a good idea. Yeah.
So I want to talk from not experience, but my dad's current wife, this was his second wife, her family owns an old folks home. And I wanted to talk about the sexual proclivity of old people. So if you live in an old folks home, there's a lot of hanky panky going on, and they don't talk about it, and nobody talks about it. But there's a lot of like people hooking up all the time and then not talking about it. Right on. I can get you a direct line to all of the old ladies if you want.
No, we're gonna reel back in the walls.
Hang on.
All right.
Hang on.
That's not a waffle. It was mentioned in the video.
Yes, but we're talking. Yeah. Anyway,
well,
we're gonna reel it back in. We're gonna reel it in. You see that? It's reeled in. We're gonna bring this back on screen, really quick. Good Lord, no more grandma jokes. God damn it, we got a show to do.
You know what? This is what a lot of women don't seem to get. I mean, you can have guys in your DMs who doesn't, but it doesn't mean that any of those guys would marry you.
Think I figured out why dating is so dang hard now. Both parties want to be pursued. Like, I know I want to be pursued. I'm sure guys want to be pursued.
Do guys really want to be pursued, or they just don't want to be called names? Yes, some guys do, but most guys don't, because that's not the way it was supposed to be.
But here's the thing. Who's gonna do it first? And I know I'm struggling with this because, like, I want to be pursued, and I will gladly pursue you.
Yeah, like I pointed out, if you're a woman and you're interested in a man now in the Me Too era, and she's a good-looking lady, would I approach her? At me? Probably fucking not. I wouldn't, not now, not with my knowledge now, maybe 10 years ago. But now, I mean, that's my type right there, but would I bother? Fuck no. Why? It's just not worth the fucking risk. So ladies, again, you're going to have to start doing the approach. You've already told men, fuck off, don't approach. And anymore, like, what's the fucking, it's not even worth it. Because again, this girl can get bored of you in a week and go fuck Chad. So what's the point, right? But let's see what else she has to say here.
But I want you to show me first. And like, do guys want that too?
Yes.
Like, I'll be loyal. I will be loyal and faithful 100%.
Stop the cap. Okay.
But I will show you that I'm pursuing you once I know you're pursuing me. That's a problem.
Okay.
Because, like, how are we ever gonna date?
Would genuinely like to know.
Go ahead, panel.
Well,
I
wish I had the...
John, you are still muted. Crusader, jump on in, Crusader.
Yeah. Well, first off, she wants to be pursued. Great. Want in one hand and defecate in the other. Which one feels first? I'm sorry. I don't know a nicer way of putting that. If you want to be pursued, be pursuable.
Yes.
I mean, there's no... I'm sorry, am I the only one dealing in logic and reason in this world nowadays? If you want to be pursuable and you're a size 18 and you're a quarter tonner and you think you're a 9 or a 10 and you have more chins than a Chinese phone book, the only thing that's going to be pursuing you is an ambulance and a heart attack.
Yeah, you're not wrong. Mando.
Taking on to that for just a quick second, and an attorney to sue whoever it is that gave you that last meal before it triggered the coronary, because obviously that person should have been responsible enough not to give you whatever it is they gave you.
Yeah.
But the thing is with a lot of these women, first of all, I wish I had access to the old airplane movie bullshit GIF, because I would be throwing that up on her video almost every other word. She'll be loyal, yeah, okay. Ladies like
As long
her,
as she benefits.
well, ladies like her, they're basically wanting 3 different dudes. They're wanting the rich guy who can buy them all the fancy nonsense they want.
Yep.
She wants the sensitive guy who will be the shoulder she can cry on. And then she wants
That's
Thad,
her best friend.
and then she wants Chad Thundercock to come and pound her into oblivion every Saturday night and be there when somebody decides to try doing something stupid so he can pull the Bane on her or on them.
Yeah, and by the way, guys, if you're stupid enough to do that second one, no matter what they fucking tell you, no matter how much they say they want and how much they beg and cry, why aren't you more sensitive? Why don't you spend more time with me and talk about my feelings? Don't be that fucking idiot. Don't do it. The second you do it is the second she looks for your replacement. So she wants all 3 of those. Hang on. She wants all 3 of those, no buttons. She wants all 3 of those. But the second you give her the second one, she's finding the replacement. You know, so it is what it is. Look, and I'll tell the women I date this. If you want to cry about your fucking problems, go talk to your girlfriends. I'll flat out say it. Like, I'm not here to do the whole therapy session thing, because I know all you want is for me to listen to you. You don't want me to solve anything, so go talk to your girlfriends. I'm not interested. Maybe I'm a dick.
Oh, don't
but
you
that's
do
all.
that?
Yeah.
Emotional damage.
Emotional tampon.
Yeah.
That's what they want you to be. They just want you to absorb all their emotions.
Yeah, no, I think that's all.
I got a delay and I pushed the wrong button. I'm sorry.
Oh, okay. Well, who's going first?
Well,
I'm done. I said emotional tampon. That's all I have to say.
All right.
That's a good term.
Yeah, because that's a waste of our time if we got to sit here and listen to a bitching session that we're in our head. We're already thinking, if you do X, Y, Z, this problem is fixed. But if we say that and we don't know up front, am I here just to be, spoken to, or do you want a fucking solution to your problem? And then you're being accused of being a dick and an asshole, and it's like,
yep.
Well, you're wasting my fucking time here.
No, there's nothing, again, for the 3 that are watching, ladies out there, there is nothing less attractive. I mean, except for a Pop 4, but there's nothing else less attractive than a woman that just wants to complain and complain and complain some more. And then when you say, I can help you solve that, I don't want a fucking solution. I just want to tell you well, I don't care. I don't care then. I really don't. If you don't want solutions, don't come to me. Men are goal and solution oriented. We're not here to fuck around. We're not here to play emotional games. I'm not here to be your fucking, like Billy said, I'm not here to be your tampon. So unless you want a solution, unless you want me to fix a flat tire, get the fuck out of my face with the bullshit. I don't have time for it.
See, and the sad thing is you'll have guys who will hang around with that and listen for hours and hours and hours and hours, thinking that they're going to eventually break off a piece, and they never do.
It's called the friend zone. Way to go. You fucked up and you're in it.
Pretty sure the majority of us are guilty of that once or twice.
Well, here's the other thing that I've noticed. A lot of ladies, they will do this to guys when they have them in a captive audience situation where you can be a complete stranger to this woman. She'll start a conversation with you, and if you give any kind of indication that you're willing to continue talking, next thing you know this twit's entire life story.
Yeah.
And you're sitting there thinking, at what altitude will this plane explosively decompress if I open the door?
There's something to be said when a woman says, I hope I can find a guy just like you. That's when you know you fucked up.
Well, no, I mean,
no.
There will be guys who will go, and spend hours and hours and days listening to that shit, thinking they're going to get some, and then maybe they will try to transition that into something, and then the woman, she may go along with it, but it's going to be for a very short time. Like maybe they'll kiss, and then no, this is wrong. We're just friends. We can't do this. Like it's not going to work out. It just doesn't work out.
Can I tell you guys something that's happened to me recently? I've been in situations similar to that, and I'll hang out with the girl for a little bit, and they're like, "Oh yeah, I just got a new boyfriend," and I'll be like, "Okay, I'm gone. Bye."
Yep.
But I'm also a little bit kind of dumb or naive. Naive is the way to put it. And in the past, I've been super naive about all that bullshit, and now that I'm like almost 40, I'm like, I'm not gonna deal with your bullshit anymore. I'm done. Like I'm not gonna deal with this shit.
Yeah. Well, and I mean, you can tell a woman straight to her fucking face, like, you're, especially once they're over 30, you're single, right? And you see those, I alluded to this earlier. This again, why are they perpetually single is the whole point of this show. But you'll tell a woman, like, do you see those like 200 likes you just got for that last selfie? You weren't even showing cleavage. You were just taking a selfie. You see those 200 likes? And you see how like 99% of those were men? And you wonder why you can't find your person? You see those 200 likes? I think I've mentioned this before. That's why you can't find a man. Like, no, dude, listen. Ladies, no one wants that. No one wants the woman with 1,000 options. They just don't. All right? That tells a man immediately, red flag. And then once you get to know women like this, you find out, it's not just liking. There's actual meetups. And you could have, I've said it before, I'll say it again. Sometimes you find out you might have been Eskimo brothers with an old friend of yours if you pursued that. So you find out real quick, these women do get around too. So don't just think it's just likes. Don't just think it's just orbiters. She's busting off a piece of these guys because what's going on? Let me explain this to you. Okay, because this is the whole point of the show, so I might as well explain it. These women think that these guys that are showing them attention are there because they're genuinely interested, and these guys actually just want to get a piece and move on. To them, it's like a fucking Oreo. I fucking have an Oreo, whatever. I forget about it. I move on. But these women constantly think, this one's going to treat me, and I'm serious. This is the post-30 women, closer to 40, when they really start feeling it. They start just letting dudes come in. And I've used this analogy. It's like a fucking apartment. It's like, look, I've got cameras all over my apartment. There's a camera right back here in this room. There's a camera watching me at all times. If anybody ever breaks in here, I want to know what the fuck's going on, right? I've got cameras. I've got locks on my doors. Imagine that. I don't let anybody in here that I don't trust. But women, especially in their mid-30s and beyond, will just let anybody in their door. I mean, they're doing it in their 20s, but it's worse in their 30s. They'll just let anybody in their door because you're going to be my person. That's not going to happen. You're full of shit. And again, the women don't get it. Like, if you would just get rid of your attention and validation and you would stop letting anybody in your apartment, okay, I'm sure you get what I'm saying, maybe good men would actually might approach you. But women don't want to do
Rhino.
that. Women don't want to use their brain. Yeah.
Rhino, can you hear me?
I can hear you just
Rusty
fine.
finally.
You guys got the vast majority of everything right. You got some things wrong. In our sphere, we talk about these 1% guys. We talk about the top 20%. But yet we never have these guys on, and we never ask them questions. Well, I'm 6'1". I'm a lead singer of a rock and roll country band. I own over 20 houses. I make over 6 figures a year, and I have a 60-foot yacht. So go ahead, guys. You got the 1% right here. right now. Ask me some questions, and I'll answer you 100% truthfully.
All right, panel.
Wait. What makes you the 1% again?
up a good point.
Is it looks or what you have?
It's 6 foot, 6 figures, assets, everything else. Yeah.
Oh, fair enough. Okay.
All right. My question, Rusty, what do you think? What do you think? Bottom line, these women that are approaching you, because I'm sure they're approaching. What is your reaction to these women trying to cling on? Excuse me. Hang on a second. What happened there? Where'd he go? Shit. What happened?
Go or did you just
kick him out?
Screen?
No, I didn't kick him out.
I think he just dropped out.
Oh,
No.
his battery might have died.
Shit.
Or his phone might have overheated.
Well,
That
we'll
too,
see if we can get
possible.
Rusty back on because I just full screened him and it went back to me.
His
Stand
phone
by.
might have overheated with how much
But he brings up a
ego
good
he
point.
had.
Stand by a second. Rusty. there you go.
Rusty, I didn't mean that. I'm sorry. I love you, dude.
Rusty, if you're seeing this still, please come back. And if you want to have a cage match with this guy, I'm all for it at this point. Anyway.
Well, the question I wanted to ask him was, what does he think that we got wrong?
Yeah, I want to know that too. But let's just figure out if we can get him back.
So right now, what I think you should do is go to the next topic.
Yeah,
and
we
then
are because I don't know how to reach out to him.
Sorry,
while
I don't
we're
mean
doing
to
the
tell you
show.
what to do.
No, you're fine. That startled me because he was there and then he wasn't.
He asked a really poignant question and he left.
Yeah. Well, it's probably not his fault. It was probably phone
I'm
died
pretty
or
sure.
something.
I'm pretty sure his phone overheated and dropped it. That was doing that
All
to
right,
my
on that
phone
note.
previously.
On that note, let's continue.
Would genuinely like to know, single men, why you don't pursue anymore?
Nope.
What's up?
If I pursued a woman, they lost interest for whatever reason.
The problem is if you try to pursue her and she doesn't like you, then you automatically become a creep. You become a predator.
Pretty much
She has
discussed
to like
that.
you first for you to even have a small shot. And that's why most guys don't even want to try anymore.
I would love to think that the older that we get,
All right, so she's going to carry on some more. So we're going to just cut on that one because I don't need to hear any more of her. I'm having some technical difficulties here myself. Stand by. I'm not sure what's going on.
Do you need to
never
take a
mind.
short
I
break
do.
and try to
I just
reset?
No, I just looked up. We're at 85% CPU and 74% memory. So that's what the hang up is, as usual. Don't worry, guys. I am going to be upgrading equipment thanks to this gentleman and this gentleman. So much appreciated to both of them. But yeah, for now, we are still working with what we have. Let me go ahead and jump in with another short here really quick. This comes from Legion of Men on YouTube. He has a pretty good channel over there. I don't agree with everything he says, but then again, I don't think you should ever agree with anybody 100%, so there is that.
Men are wondering, like, why aren't men wanting to get married these days? Why are men not even approaching me and talking to me anymore? Why are men checking out completely? Salute, brother. Go handle business. The
Is
game
that
ends
enough?
the same for us.
Is that enough?
Can you
for
find
men?
happiness? Can you find happiness and joy for some men? It's great. But I think every man on a deeper level yearns for a family, yearns for that dream, like a woman that's supportive, nurturing.
All right, gentlemen, your thoughts on that real quick.
Hang on one second. Timothy Sokol in the chat, he did bring something up that I think needs to be called up and pointed out. He made a comment that most guys wouldn't know what to do with hot, you know what, if it dropped in their laps.
Okay.
I'm going to just use myself for the example here, Timothy. I'm 42 years old. I have gotten to second base once in my life, and I've been waiting until marriage. How on God's green earth am I going to know what to do? unless I'm given the chance to actually try. Because guess what? I'm invisible to 90% of the women out there. Answer me that before you make that kind of comment.
Well, yeah, that's a whole fucking video in and of itself. We can get back into that a little bit later because, like I said, that gets into its own show.
Oh, I know. Believe me, I'm very well aware. We've had plenty of conversations about that.
Yeah. Yeah. Now we're gonna just jump back into this here really quick. We've got another article here from evmagazine.com. Let me get this pulled up. God damn it. Having some issue. You know what? Let me get this here. See if it works. Okay. There we are. Finally. We've gone over this before. And I know it's not news to most of you that watch Red Pill content, MGTOW content, but this is from evmagazine.com. 45% of women are expected to be single and childless by 2030. Per recent projection, recent data predicts that 45% of women between the ages of 25 and 44 will be single and childless by the time 2030 rolls around. The number of single women in the U.S. is expected to rise 1.2% every year. Okay. We're told by our culture that a woman who is unmarried and has no children is empowered and in charge of her own life. Well, then why are there so many single mothers? Because I'm going to call bullshit on that. I think single with child is empowered, and that's what they're pushing. But regardless, let's go with this. She has escaped the unnecessary burden of raising a family. You mean her greatest gift? This is some feminist garbage, isn't it? And being a slave to her husband. Yeah, there you go. It's feminist as fuck. At least that's what our society had convinced us. Sadly, many women have adopted the modern feminist lifestyle and have chosen to sleep around, abort their baby if they unexpectedly get pregnant, and swear off marriage. But these cultural trends are going to have a tremendous impact on the future of American society. Morgan Stanley estimates that 45% of women in their prime working years, ages 25 to 44, will be single and childless by the time 2030 arrives. Now, this is a big deal. The reason this is a big deal is because it's Morgan fucking Stanley, okay? They are looking at what the future trends of the economy are going to be. They're looking at stock projections. They're looking at everything else. And they're seeing here that there is a serious problem. So when Morgan Stanley does a study, it's not just because they're bored. It's because they're trying to figure out how to make money. And on that note, it might be a joke, but I think Morgan Stanley's probably looking into the cat litter and cat food stocks right about now. Okay.
Box wine.
Yeah, and box wine. That is true. Now, in 2019, this is a little bit older, but it's still relevant to what we're talking about here. In 2019, Morgan Stanley published an article outlining women's impact on the American economy. The number of prime working age women in the U.S. had been increasing steadily, and most of them are single and completely focused on their career, which you'll find out just through experience, through life, you're going to see it. A lot of these women realize when they hit their mid-30s that was a huge mistake, and it's too late. Because as we've all seen, thanks to Billy Von Baum, the genius that he is, with the Hammerhand No Eggs video, empty egg carton, they don't have anything left to offer men. But they spent their whole life on this career, and now, again, childless and single. Anyway, we'll wrap it up on this paragraph. Economist Ellen Zentner explained, in the past, education or lower-paying occupational choices largely drove the pay gap. Today, motherhood is by far the largest contributor to the wage gap, since women who become mothers often choose to stop working. No, there is no pay gap. That is a lie. And we already know that. We've already covered that multiple times on this show, actually. But the thing is, again, these women chose their career. They chose to put off childhood. They think that having children is the devil now, which was, it's just a bunch of feminist bullshit. How's that working out for you? Men no longer want to approach you. Most of you are so entitled and egotistical. Oh, and by the way, that career, that wonderful career that you're so proud of, you're so happy that you're making six figures, but yet you won't date a man below that. And, you know, the average median income for men in this country is actually $55,000 a year. So good job on that career. You've, you know, worked your way out of a relationship. Congratulations, ladies. Back to you, panel.
I don't think you really need to tag team on that one.
Ike, you're muted.
Okay, I'm muted. I said I have a dumb question really quick. My dumb question is, why did feminism decide that they wanted to join the workforce after air conditioning was invented? Just asking for a friend.
It does have an odd coincidence.
Right, just a bit.
Well, it kind of started with, what was it? Well, technically, feminism is neo-Marxism, which basically what that means is everyone is just another number on the, not the scorecard, damn it, the data sheet for big business. So basically, it's neo-Marxism that is rooted in in capitalism. They kind of mix and blend the two, and that's what you get. You have somebody who is so greedy, they think, okay, we've got men in the workforce, so we're making money off of men's hard work. How do we double our profits? By bringing in the other half of the population. So it wouldn't surprise me if a lot of those activists during the women's suffrage movement, as well as the push for, oh, damn it, what was the name of the movement itself? It may have been just like a second wave of feminism, but whatever. After World War II, when the women didn't want to just go back to the house and finally leave the factories for building the tanks, the jeeps, the planes, the bullets, they didn't want to go back because they had a taste of more freedom and more money to do with whatever they want. So, yeah, they got more freedoms to do stuff because their man was off fighting in Europe or in the Pacific. So she's got time to herself to do whatever the hell she wants, and she's got money in her pocket, and she's helping out the war effort. So after that, war is over. They don't want to go back to, okay, now we're just going to go back to be normal, regular old housewives. We don't want to go back to that. So that's neo-Marxism being mixed in.
Jackal, you're also right, but at this point, the women that are in the workforce don't want to do the shitty jobs. They're after the fucking like high-end jobs where they don't have to actually do anything. How many women want to go fucking work in the coal mines? How many women want to fucking work and fucking be sanitation engineers? None.
Well, they never did want to do that stuff, and technically, even during the war, they still didn't do those kinds of jobs. They were at most having to work around dangerous equipment to put together machines of war that could still kill you and fuck you up. In fact, in World War I, there was a factory in, I think it was in the UK, that exploded because it was producing artillery shells, and the compound was very unstable, and it exploded and killed about 20 women in there because that's who were working in the warehouse. And
I'm not talking about past women that want to be in the workforce.
We're gonna
okay, well we'll continue. This could be a longer conversation.
We're gonna reel this one back in before we start waffling too far. All right, this is something I do want to share with you. Okay, this isn't just why women are perpetually single. This is women to avoid. So men, those of you watching, this is just good old information for you in case you didn't already know, which I'm thinking most of you know, but you never know. So here we go. This is 5 types of women that make bad wives. All right, let's jump into this list. This is from crosswalk.com, family, marriage, and relationships. All right. Let's just go straight into it. 1, a dismissive woman. It is important to you. It is important to me. Or if it's important to you, it's important to me. Years ago, JP and I adopted this saying. I'm not sure whether we heard it or if it was made up ourselves, but it's kept us in tune with each other over the 3 decades of marriage. Honestly, though, having an attitude over prioritizing another's needs, preferences, and opinions didn't come naturally. Frankly, it can be easier to dismiss your partner's needs than to deal with them. So yeah, if she's just like, fuck your feelings, or maybe, I'm trying to think of a real world example. If you say something that is important to you and she just doesn't seem to really fucking care, or worse, she says, well, I want to argue with you about it, and you're wrong about it. That's one you would toss out. Okay. All right. We're not going to read every single word of this.
Hang on, Rhino. Here's a
Yes.
perfect example for that. Girl you're dating all of a sudden decides she wants to become a vegan, and then expects that you're going to become a vegan as well.
Okay. Let me actually give you some pushback. If it's vegan just for the sake of being vegan, I understand it. But let's say she's going through some health stuff. This is actually part of you both being supportive of each other. I know it's elusive in the red pill community that in a relationship you actually should be working as a team. But hear me out. For example, she has some health issues and she has to refrain from certain foods, right? And I think I'm familiar with this. You would hope that your partner would be supportive and go on that journey with you. Now, if you just cannot stand vegetables and you're on a carnivore diet and then she decides to go vegan, I could see where there's a problem. But if you're trying to be supportive, here's the same thing. If you're an alcoholic and your wife drinks, but she's not an alcoholic, right? And you decide you want to drink and your wife continues drinking, I would make her a Kawantaha, and I wouldn't want to be with that kind of woman. Okay? So, again, I think both of you should be on that path together. I'm not saying you have to become a vegan, but at least be supportive of each other. Men and women both. I'm not going to really harp on one side or the other. But that's if you're in a relationship. All right? An undependable woman. The first description of an excellent wife in Proverbs 31. So you can see there is kind of a stance, a lean on this particular article. The first one is this. Her husband can trust her and she will greatly enrich his life. All right? You don't have to be a rocket scientist to figure out that if a good wife is trustworthy, a bad wife isn't. All right. So that's pretty easy to understand. Dependable women can be trusted and faithful to her man. These days, though, good luck with that. So we could just wrap this up. Is she faithful? Okay. If we put that in the fit, feminine, fertile, friendly category. The first one, is she feminine? Okay. No. Is she faithful? Okay. No. If she's undependable. Okay. Next one, a disrespectful woman. This again is feminine. Okay. How many kids do you have? I asked. 3, 4. If you count my husband. Everyone laughed. Yeah, not funny. Not funny. I've seen women that do this. They say that they've got their husband is their 4th child. But her answer was no laughing matter. Comments like this, though they sound innocent on the surface, indicate that she doesn't respect him. There it is, a lack of respect of one's partner. So yeah, toss that bitch out. If she even thinks that's fucking cute to say, you're single. Congratulations, I solved your problem. You're single. If she considers you a child. I mean, for fuck's sake. I will. No, I'm serious. I'm dead fucking serious. I've been in relationships. I am a fucking nerd. I collect shit. All right? Women who have respected me in relationships don't call me a fucking child. You know, it's bottom line. They just don't. They never even consider it. So I'm going to definitely stand firm on that. If she considers you a child, she doesn't respect you, and she's looking for another dick to ride. Don't be that guy. Get the fuck out. Okay? All right. Number 4, an overly dependent woman. This is a codependent. All right? Or an overly independent woman. This is the strong career, doesn't need no man. Either one of those. I don't even need to read this. You get it. If she's codependent and she can't do anything without you, and she has to have you go to every doctor's appointment with her, and she's not her own person, again, cut, sling, load, get the fuck out. If she's a strong, independent woman, you already know where that goes. I don't need to explain that. That is a feminist.
What's the intermediate then?
What do you mean?
So you say a woman woman that needs you to be there for everything and a woman to ask you not to be there for everything?
It's a balance. It's a fucking balance. It should be. I'll answer the question. I'll answer the fucking question. So you don't want a woman who crawls up your ass. She wants her own space. She wants her own time. She wants her own hobbies. You know, she likes to fucking, I don't know. I'm using shitty examples here, but she likes to crochet. She does that on her own. But she's not out there fucking trying to be fucking hustler and make six figures. All right. She's just your average fucking woman. She has her fucking hobbies. She's not up your ass all the time. She gives you your space. You give her space. It's a good, happy middle. Okay, that's what you're looking for, ideally, right? Again, if she can't take her, you shouldn't be dating single mothers, but from experience, if she can't take her own kids to school because of fucking anxiety and stress, and you got to go with her, first of all, don't date single mothers. But again, that shouldn't be the woman you're around, right? But again, you also don't want the one that just lives at work and probably is fucking their boss. You know what I mean?
Fair enough.
Okay. Number 5 on that list, let me jump back over. A discouraging woman. This one kind of goes with number 1. If anything, it's kind of the same thing. Dismissive and discouraging. They go hand in hand. It might as well just be the same. The two relational truths many women fail to understand. Truth, at the heart of every good man is the desire to please his wife. Truth number 2, it's hard to stay emotionally, physically, and spiritually connected to a person who consistently makes you feel discouraged, even if that person is your wife. Bottom line, if she's making you feel like shit, dude, why the fuck are you with her? This is why the discouraging wife can also be lethal to a life-giving marriage. The discouraging woman makes her man feel like he can't do anything right. You ever heard that? You ever been in a relationship like that, where you never do anything right? And I have. So I can speak from experience. You'll do everything, especially. There's no red pill guy that wasn't blue pill, so let's get that out of the way first. Every red pill guy was blue pill at one point. That's how we got here. Pain and experience is a good teacher, right? But yeah, you'll do everything to be the good guy and do what you're supposed to do and be the good provider, protector, provisioner, all that bullshit. And then, you forget to fucking take out the trash one day and she's got to fucking nag you about that. And then you'll fucking make sure you take out the trash. And then she's like, well, you didn't do this and you didn't do that. Or you didn't fucking put the shower curtain back right. Or you didn't fucking fold, you didn't make the bed correctly. Whatever the fuck. It's always fucking something. It's always fucking something. That bitch, get the fuck out of your life. Look, you want to know what the ideal woman in this situation is? Because we're looking at, you asked what the ideal would be in the last one. So here, let me answer your question on this one. One that understands you as a man, okay? So maybe you're not the most cleanliest of men. Maybe you're a little bit sloppy, but you try your best. If she understands that and she works with you, that's the ideal. Not somebody that nags you to death. But anyway, I digress. Looks like Billy has completely lost his shit over there. Billy, how are you doing, sir?
I'm fine. How are you?
Good. You look like you might have passed out on us there for a second.
No, I'm listening.
All right.
I was just doing some stuff down here.
Oh, I got you. All right. We'll wrap this up really quick on this article. Anyway, we're good anyway on that one, so we'll close it. But panel, back to you. What are your thoughts?
So I think I found an example of one of them. If you want to share screen real quick.
Yes, I can do that. Now that I've got to switch screens. There we go.
So the highlighted paragraph, I don't know if everybody's heard about it because it's still kind of brand new. Piers Morgan called out a female tennis player, who I guess is a champion.
Oh, yes.
I don't need no man. And here's what Piers said. As Emma said, women don't need men at all. She certainly didn't need men to get to where she is. Well, that jumped on me. Where she is today, except for her father, who manages her career, and her 5 male coaches, and then her male agent. It seems like her supporting cast is all men.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Why aren't they all women? Why is she, letting her dad manage her career? Why doesn't she get some big, proud feminist to do it if men are not needed?
Mm-hmm. Well, that's the thing. They tell you that they're doing it on their own, but there's always a man somewhere behind the scenes bottom line, whether that's dad or whether that's some sugar daddy or whatever it is. There's always a man behind the scenes paving the way. So, yeah. All right. We've got a couple more things to go over. I think we're wrapping up, though. We're getting towards the end. But I do have Rusty backstage again. And I know, Sean, you had a question for him. So let's just have him jump in. And, Sean, I'm going to have you ask him the question you were wanting to ask.
Yeah, I was just curious, Rusty, what did you think that we were getting wrong?
Let's start off with what the last thing that I heard from Ike. He said, oh, are you making a lot of money or are you good looking? It's a combination. That's the first thing that's wrong. It's always a combination. You know, I think it was Billy earlier that said, well, a man needs to be this, and a man needs to be that, and a man needs to be this. He needs to be 3 different men at one time. And you know what? He's right. For today's modern women, a man needs to be multiple things at various times. And that is 100% true.
Yeah,
I don't see anything wrong with it.
I don't disagree with you, but I will say once you become that shoulder to cry on, she's looking for another dick to ride on. That's bottom line, my opinion on that.
Well, I understand that, and that is so old school. I actually remember when that first came out. I got started. I got started in this back in 2005. I saw Rollo Tomasi come online in SoCal and So Suave. You know, I was with Paul Elam and met up with him several times at different hotels to have.
Wait, you know Paul Elam?
Yes. I was back in 2000, between 2005 and 2007. We were given our marching orders by Paul Elam to go to our local state representatives and, you know, try to get the laws changed. Yeah, I've been in this game for a very long time.
Hell yeah.
Yeah,
I have a question for you.
Yeah, yes, sir. Go ahead.
All right. So, being in the situation you are, and imagining that women are aware of that, I'm sure that you don't hide any of, like, you know, the yacht's kind of hard to hide, I would imagine. But also the fact that you are doing well off, and you know, you own the properties. I know you probably don't go around telling everybody I have this many properties, but in general, it kind of comes off naturally, I would say, right? You exude that confidence because you're doing well. So women see that, and that's a natural, excuse me, natural honing device, right? They know it. They can see it. They can sense it. They can smell blood in the water, right? With their dead eyes. Anyway, how do you feel about those women? Like, when they approach you, do you feel like most of them are intolerable? Or what are your thoughts on that? Like, what's your experience?
Number one, anybody under the age of 50, they are looking for something. They're trying to take advantage. They're gold diggers. It's pretty fucked up. Yeah. I have figured out that the older women, and I know that, you know, in our sphere, you know, we make fun of the older broads and everything. Well, hell, I'm 54. Okay. I have really focused on women either my age or a little bit older. And what I have found is that they actually got 1 foot in the boomer age and they got 1 foot in the Gen X age. And just like Hammer says, you know, it's all about morals, values, ethics, and principles. And these women these older women, they tend to have a sense of fairness about them. You know, they're not out there trying to take advantage of you. Now, granted that the women that I usually deal with, they're usually successful. You know, they usually own their own homes. They have their own income. You know, they're not looking to take advantage of anybody. When I have dealt with the women that are under 50, it's an entirely different situation. And this is one of my primary objectives, is that, you know, I want to warn young men what they're getting ready to get involved in. I mean, the marketplace that these young guys, you know, have, it's a no-win scenario. You can't win if you're under fucking 50. You can't. These women, they're just fucking crazy. You know, you are going to go through the usual cycle that in our sphere we talk about, you know, where they're running through Chad and Tyrone from the age of 15 to about 30. You know, then all of a sudden they have the epiphany stage, and then they try to lock down a blue-pilled beta provider that has a pretty damn good job, that's got the opportunity for mobility and upward, you know, career climbing ladder stuff. They stay married to him for about 7 years. They have an average of 2 kids. And then all of a sudden they wake up one morning and they say, I'm not happy.
Yeah.
And then they file for divorce, and they take the house, they get the alimony, they get the child support, you know, they get reconstructive maintenance, they take the fucking vehicles. Okay. And then the guy's literally out on the fucking streets.
Yep.
And then all of a sudden they jump back into the damn rooster carousel, you know, and they ride it for another, you know, 6 to 7 years. And then all of a sudden they start looking for their fucking golden parachute. You know, they start looking for the guy that is highly successful, has got multiple homes, has got a lifestyle that they're attracted to, and they convince him that, oh, you're the one. Oh my God, where were you all my life? And then they marry him, and then all of a sudden, about, you know, an average of 2 to 3 years later, they're divorcing him and taking half of his shit, and then they got their fucking retirement. It's ridiculous.
Yeah. Actually, we had another question in the chat here. I popped it up on the screen. This is for you, Rusty. How do you sort out the gold diggers from the 5F women? And that's fit, feminine, friendly, fertile, friendly, and faithful.
Oh, that's real easy. The women that I have encountered who genuinely like you, who genuinely care for you, they are there to help you. They are willing to give their time, their money, and their resources to help you. A gold digger will never do that, ever.
I'm going to jump in on that. I 100% concur on what he's saying there. Now, I haven't really had too much problem in the dating market, although I've made some stupid choices. You all know that. But the women that I've encountered that were good relationships that just didn't work out for whatever reason, just in general, women that I've dated, I'll notice they'll be willing to fucking help. They'll go out of their way. You guys are, a lot of you guys, I've heard some crazy shit like fucking a woman would never pay for dinner. You want to bet? I've had, look, I've said this not just because I think it. I've said it because I've experienced it. The woman that you want to date, if you want to date, will drive 3 hours out of her way to pay for your dinner. That's the woman that you want to date, all right? And you'll see that. Like, okay, so you're dating a woman, and let's just say I'm just going to give you some examples. Let's say that you're out of some fucking supplement you take, right? Whatever it fucking is. Maybe it's I don't know, just pick anything, a fucking vitamin or something. And she's like, "Well, I know your budget's tight. I'll get that for you this time." There you go. Yep. That's what you're looking for. That's what the fuck you're looking for. That's how you know you got a good one. And there's not many of those, but they exist.
Yep. Hey, let me say this also, Rhino. I have tried because I have been in this community for a very long time.
Yeah.
I have tried to give back, and as far as I know, I have the only MGTOW house in America, and I run it. It's down here on the Mississippi Gulf Coast. It's right on the water, and I take in men that have been destroyed by feminism. They have been destroyed by marriage. Their wives have ran off with their best friends, and I take these men in and give them a safe place to land.
Yeah.
Being in the real estate business for 30 years, like I said, I have many properties, and I've taken one of these properties and I have converted it into a MGTOW house. And I started this in about the middle of last year. And the very first guy that we graduated for the MGTOW house was Absolute Knowledge Seekers, AKS. I don't know if you guys are familiar with him or not. But currently we have Lord Jeremy Hirsch, and we have Sonic Viper. And I just want to thank Hammer, Chronic, One Fast DAC, SCE, DN50. Man, I can't remember everybody, but this last guy that we had, come to the MGTOW house, everybody freaking helped out. Mouth Agape Ape went and picked him up and drove him halfway, and then I sent Lord Jeremy Hirsch up in my truck to meet him and pick him up for the handoff. But I just wanted to let you guys know there's a lot going behind the scenes. This manosphere of ours, there's a lot of men that are doing things that transcend the philosophy. We actually are involved in a movement. We are actually doing things to help men and to change our culture. And I just wish that I can inspire other men to do this,
Absolutely.
Yeah, and God bless Mr. Pliskin.
Yeah, and I had a question for you. So let's say somebody watching tonight, or maybe they're watching in the future, and they need they need to reach out to you. How do they do that?
Well, my telephone number, most guys know. Probably if somebody doesn't know me personally, if they see a comment of mine on, like, say your live stream, one of your videos, or Hammers or something, anybody can drop me just a comment and let me know how I can contact them, how we can get in touch, and start making things happen.
All right. And on that note, if anybody is watching this now or in the future, just shoot me an email, redpillrhino@hotmail.com, and I can get that information where it needs to go as well. So if you feel the need to reach out, please do so. That's one of the easiest ways here to do that. All right. And Successful Endeavor says we know how to get in touch with Rusty. So there you are.
Okay.
Excellent.
I do have a twofold question for you, Rusty.
Yes, sir.
Okay. For people like me who want a family, and have had zero success when it comes to dating. This question is twofold. One, how do you vet to make sure that you're not going to be taken to the cleaners or limit the opportunity to be taken to the cleaners? And two, where do you go to find these women that are actually worthwhile?
Okay, I have an answer for you. Number one, the most important question you ever can ask a woman to vet her is, what do you think about your father?
I've asked that so many fucking
Oh,
times.
that's a good one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, as far as meeting women are concerned, there's nothing wrong with being online. However, if your physical appearance doesn't take the best pictures, I would suggest just getting out and going to Walmart, going to Target, start talking with women. Where do you go on Sunday for church? Not that I'm pushing conservatives or anything, but engagement, direct engagement is very important. And here is a really big secret. Whatever you may be concerned with, like a hobby that you're really, really involved with, get out there and engage. Like, for example, and I don't mean to sound extreme or anything, but if you're into live player chess games where you dress up as a fucking knight, to go and battle on a battlefield that's an acre large, in front of an audience, if that's your hobby, then talk to the women that are involved and around that.
There you go. All right. Tell you what, I think we're going to close it out here pretty soon. I do want to keep these a little shorter, mostly for you guys, because I know hanging on for some of the long-ass episodes we did in the past, some of them 5 hours, if you'd believe it. I think the 2 hour and 30 mark is pretty good. Looks like we're running at 2:21, which is actually 2:11 if you account for pre-roll. So what we'll do is we'll play a couple more of these short clips. We'll do no more articles, no more videos other than the shorts, and then we'll wrap it up. We'll do final thoughts and move on with the night. But yeah, I'm gonna try to stick to the 2 hour and 30 minute window from now on. It seems to be a good system. That's what Pop does. I feel like it just flows a lot better, and we cut down on waffling, except for when I do it right now. But let's just watch a couple more clips, see if we can get anybody spun up at the last second. Now, these are just, they speak for themselves. So we'll do that really quick. Here we go with the first one.
All right, ladies, why men are shying away from commitment. Let's get into it. And please don't be offended. Number one, social media. Social media makes you think you have a surplus available options. And I say makes you think you have because the appearance of may not be the reality. Hookup culture. Men don't have to commit to you to get the benefits of that connection. So because of that, why get into a relationship? And unfortunately, because men think that there are lower quality women on the market today, due to perspectives, higher body counts, maybe even personality traits, men think that women today are of lower quality and therefore do not want to commit, or are more apprehensive to commit, should I say.
Floor's yours. In case I might have cut out their panel, floor is yours. Feel free to jump on in.
Well, shit, when guys get run through in a court just because the woman's like, I'm not happy anymore, and have half of his shit taken, and his kids taken from him because they're never his kids, right? It's always her kids because it came out of her, and so on and so on and so forth. I mean, why do you think guys don't want to get married these days? Why do you think they don't want to get into relationships? I mean, for fuck.
I mean, that one's damn solid, man. We didn't even talk about that. There's so many other reasons we didn't even cover the most obvious. That is the most obvious. That should have been the first statement tonight. Let's take a short of that. That's it. That's it. That's why so many women are perpetually single. There's your answer. Because women have a monopoly on the fucking marriage racket, and it is a racket. It's a social contract between you and a woman, and most importantly, at the top of that pyramid is the government that's gonna fuck you in the ass and give half of your shit to the woman. See how that triangle works? At the end of the triangle, you're like one fucking guy holding up the whole pyramid. But yeah, the government's at the top fucking you. That's it.
Right.
That's why. Yeah.
Right. I would also say that how do I say this where it's going to be YouTube friendly?
Really? Are we still doing that?
The allegation atmosphere is always seems to be skewed towards the women as well.
Oh yeah. Well, no, you're right. You got Russell Brand right now, for example.
Well, like I said earlier, when myself and that female coworker were talking about the sexual harassment training that we had to go through, it's not really a joke when you're invisible and you say, yeah, you know what? I would kind of like to have someone make a pass at me. Just that way I feel like someone wants me. Even if it is just a really crass locker room humor joke.
Yeah. I hear you.
Well, then maybe you should think about the advice that Rusty gave you, because you have some hobbies where there are a lot of social clubs or social events for them.
Yep. And I'm already doing as much participation in those as I can.
I mean, my honest opinion on all that, Mando, is you guide yourself with your religion. Find a woman who guides herself with the same kind of morals. But still, if she's not happy after 5-10 years, just saying.
Well, like I've said a few times, I'm 42 years old. I'm pretty sure that ship has sailed, and I'm not going to go into any more detail on that one. We've spoken together off stream more than
Fair
once.
enough.
You know what's happened with me more
Tell
than
you what,
a
I'm
few
gonna
times.
pick on the mice. I'm gonna pick on the mice tonight. The guys that have been quiet. Crusader, what are your thoughts?
You guys really want to know what I think? I'll tell you right now.
Yeah. All right.
I can pull up the research and the data. It's going to take me a minute to dig it out of archives. And Rusty, you and I have run around the same circles of people. More than likely, you and I have crossed paths repeatedly.
Yes, sir.
I know the project you're working on, and you and I have pretty much been doing the same thing. I've been trying to facilitate in getting people directed towards you guys. You and I started in this community about around the same time. Now, when it gets to dealing with that, some of these women that put these posts up of, this woman, that woman, or this option, that option. You know what? I'll tell you right now. Roughly 95 to 97.5% of women aren't even worth a discussion.
Correct.
Be cordial, be professional, be polite, be charming, be an outgoing and friendly individual. And you can tell just by asking a few simple questions with these women, just within the first 5 to 10 minutes of knowing them, whether or not that conversation should go any further than that 5 to 10 minutes.
Yeah.
You can look at the way they carry themselves. You can look at the way that they speak. If you start doing those things, you will learn a ton. I've told many younger men that I've been mentoring on subjects like this. One thing that you do with women is you learn 8 to 10 things about them for every one piece of information you share about yourself.
Correct.
Maintain that air of mystery. She's always going to want to know more about you, but women will always tell on themselves. You give them enough time and enough space, they will drop their guard and they will spill their guts. At that point in time, you know if they're part of that 3 to 5% or if they're part of the other 95 to 97%. And I'll tell you right now, the unicorns that are out there, they are out there. However, they are extremely difficult to find, and oftentimes, when you're out there looking for them, you're going to have to deal with a lot of the chaff. You're going to have to deal with a lot of the undesirables that aren't worth your time. I know I had a conversation with a few other gentlemen this week about the I Got Standards Bro website, and I know Sean St. George mentioned it earlier. Go in there, be honest, put your data in there, and look at what percent of men you fall within in the United States or wherever you live. If you fall within the top 5, 10, or 0.5% of men, act the part. Do you think a man in the top 5% is going to give the lower 80 or 90% of women the time, effort, or energy? They're not. Guys, you need to actually look at many things here. Is your time, your time is one thing that's very valuable to you. You will never get it back if you waste it. It's gone forever. There's a lot of low quality men and a lot of low quality women out there, and that's not your problem. Work to better yourselves. Do not deal with these people. You need to be smarter, you need to be better, you need to work on finding your peace. If someone in your social circle looks to help bring you peace, that is a great way to start an association and a friendship. That's a great thing to do.
Hey, Nate.
There's so much info. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't mean to interrupt you, sir. Raise your hand if you're with a woman right now.
Whoa, hold up. I'm not on screen. Actually, I would have to say yes.
Okay. Well, I have one sitting right next to me right now. And one of the things I wanted to tell you guys, to expound on what Nate was just saying, there are unicorns. And I know that in our sphere, we make fun of that shit. Okay? There are unicorns. And I only associate with red pill aware women. Okay? I got one sitting right next to me right now.
I'm going to jump in on you now. I have to. Okay. So, I don't talk about this a lot online. There's a reason for that. I just, my personal life's my personal life. But now that he said it, I'll go ahead and mention this. I vetted the girl I'm with now for, I feel like 6 or 8 months, at least 6. And when I vetted, I force-fed her red pill content because I'm a dick. I'm like, because she's off doing her own thing, so I sent her videos. I'm like, here, watch this one. And I would test. I would check. I would quiz. Did you watch it? If you watched it, you would know this material. You would understand this. She watched all these videos all the way through. Didn't matter who I showed her. I'd show her some that maybe we don't agree with, maybe we do, but I showed her a lot of different ones, including Pop. She still watches Pop Show. Every what is it? Tuesday. I can't remember. I do so many shows a week now. Tuesday and Thursday. Yep. She sits down on this TV right up here. We watch it in here. Yeah. She watches the show. She understands my concepts on things. She understands what my beliefs are. And if she's not with the program, next. It's how it is. Like, she's aware of that. Like, this is who I am. It's not changing. Right? And that's something, like, you guys need to understand. Like, if you're going to date, you need to find a woman that is going to, for lack of better terms, meet you there. Like, she's got to be on the same page with you. She should be walking into your frame, by the way. And I know we've talked about that. Rollo's written books on it, masculine frame and all that. But she should be entering your world, not the other way around. This isn't where she's on the pedestal and you're trying to get into her good graces. No. I fucking tested the shit out of this woman. And on top of that, by the way, that 3-hour drive for that dinner, That was some fucking good food, I'm telling you. But that's what you're looking for. That's what you're fucking looking for. It was, I had, what was it? Not crocodile, alligator nuggets, and it was a seafood dinner. It was fucking good. It was an expensive place.
Hey,
it was a birthday
Rhino.
dinner, no less. So there you go. There you go. That's what you're looking for. Yeah, jump in.
Rhino. I completely agree with you, and I can relate. My girlfriend is, she's completely red-pilled, aware. You know, like when I get together with her, I said, this is only a smash and dash. You know, the three tenets of MGTOW are no marriage, no cohabitation, and no more children. Now, if you can operate within those parameters, you're MGTOW. Okay? I'm MGTOW through and through. And, I let my girlfriend know, hey, I'm MGTOW. So if we're gonna be together, this is smash and dash.
Yeah. Well, that's an enlightening perspective. I'm red pill. I don't claim MGTOW. I try to stay out of those weeds because those guys, some of them are like, well, we just don't date. You're supposed to be monk, and I'm like, your perspective is enlightening because, like I said, all I see is guys saying,
well, that's Brandon Trueblood.
Yeah, well, there's some guys out there that don't, and I don't fault them for it. Some guys don't want to date, but it's when you start telling men how it's supposed to be, that's where it gets a little fucking weird, because you say men going their own way under, certain concepts, but then it's like, well, you got to follow my beliefs. Well, that's not what I want to do.
Correct.
I want to do my way, right? As long as you're doing your way and you're not fucking up your life, I don't see anything wrong with it. As long as you're following the basic tenets. I agree.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So, all right, gentlemen. I think actually we can close it up here. So what I'll do is, I'll do final thoughts. Let's do final thoughts, and we'll get out of here. We'll have a little after party. I'll post those links in the chats on MGTOW, Rumble, and YouTube. And by the way, I was checking. I didn't ignore anybody. I just didn't see any super chats tonight, which is okay. Just want to make sure that you guys know I didn't miss anything. I did check emails as well, and nothing yet. So appreciate all you guys for sticking through and watching till the end, though. Very much appreciated. Let's start with Crusader. What are your final thoughts tonight, sir, about this whole topic?
Well, this is a complex topic that requires a lot of thinking and a lot of hard truth. It also requires a lot of patience on our end and others' end as well. The best thing I can say is have a sense of humor, know your value, know your worth, and act accordingly. In addition to that, I know with all the challenges we're seeing in life, and I've mentioned this to another friend previously this week, so many people are going to look at the way life is, the dating situation, the whatever you want to look at it. Some say the glass is half full, some say the glass is half empty. I'm asking all of you to challenge your perspective. Be happy you have a glass. Learn to look at it from a different perspective.
Yeah. I did want to jump in. It's all your fucking fault, every single one of you. So when I mentioned she watches the content, she also now gives me shit about the grandma joke. So thank all of you so much for that. You
excellent.
Mission accomplished.
You're welcome.
I hate all of you. So now everybody in my life just knows about the grandma thing, which is awesome.
When should we send her a silver wig?
No, please, God. Show's over. No more final thoughts. All right, Billy, go ahead and jump on in.
Oh boy. Well, yeah. Look, I don't want to piss on yours or Rusty's campfires, but let's do the Sherlock. All the numbers coming out at the screen thing. Where do you think this is going to end up with being with those? I mean, I know you said they're red pilled and everything, but where do you think that's going to eventually lead? Do you think they're going to want to be in that kind of relationship for the rest of their days?
I have an answer for Billy.
Sure.
Billy, 70% of everything that happens in a relationship can be avoided by non-cohabitation.
Oh,
And that's just my own personal experience.
I totally get that. See, okay, so here's the thing. I was trying to do the whole be a MGTOW and date, thing. And every fucking time they would say, I want more than just what we're doing here. I want to know that we're going to get married at some point and so on and so forth. And it doesn't work for me. So
I got an answer for you, but it's maybe not the answer the audience wants to hear, but it is the truth. Okay. It's a couple words. It is what it is. I want you to memorize that. It is what it is. Okay? Everything has a season, right? I'm not going to get into some hippy dippy shit. Basically what I'm saying is if it's working out today, that's fine. If it doesn't work out tomorrow, that's also fine. Okay? I'm going to set, and you all should be setting those ground rules before you even start dating. Before anything goes anywhere, you've already set the stage. This is how it is. This is how I think. I don't believe in marriage. I don't believe in any of this. Whatever that is, set your ground rules. Okay? They're not going to change. I'm not going to change my mind. And that's the end of it. If you don't like it, move along. All right? She accepts those terms and conditions. She enters into the relationship with you. If she decides at some point in the future that's not for her, okay. And does that change who you are at all? No. Not if you are, again, as I've mentioned in previous shows, in masculine frame. Look, you have to accept, especially if you've gone through red pill rage, you have to accept that there is a possibility that 100% of the time a woman could leave you. You have to accept that going in. And to be honest with you, and maybe this just is me, but I came into this world alone. I'm going to go out alone. And so if I have some company along the way, that's fine. But oftentimes I've gone through things alone and I've been just fine, right? You have to think that way, all right? Is it nice having the relationship, nice having the company? Yeah. But you have to be ready to accept that might not be what you want long term. And if that's the case, so be it. That is it. It is what it is. Learn that, remember it, and recite it.
Yeah, so for me, if it happens that I get involved in something, but I'm not actively going towards that. I'm not on dating sites. I'm not looking for it. My weekend coming up is going to be all me doing all me things. And I am just absolutely fine with that.
There you go.
I don't need to... I think about how much time and effort I wasted in my life doing, like, especially this time of year with fall festivals and corn mazes and going apple
Cuffing
picking
season
and all that bullshit. I just doing shit that I didn't want to do, but I did it anyway because I'm in a relationship and I have to do these things to go along. And I much prefer doing shit for me these days, especially when I think that, my life is half over or more than half over at this point. So there's so much more I want to do with life than corn mazes and fucking apple picking. So I don't know. That's just me. I don't know if other people feel the same way, but like I said, if it happens that somebody comes into my life. I could go on a dating site right now and find somebody tomorrow if I wanted to. Mm-hmm. I do fine with that stuff, but I don't want it in my life at this point. Yeah. And let me tell you, younger guys, I know it's crazy because I was a younger guy at one point too, but when you get older, for some reason, like, it's just not a priority anymore. No. I don't know what it is.
Hey, Billy, I know exactly what you're saying, man. Like, I have my girlfriend say, I'm in the mood. And I'm like, well, I want to check and see what's on cable first.
What's funny? I'm a younger guy in the room and I can totally fucking relate to you. Like, the number of times I've frustrated that woman. I'm like, you know, but I got shit to do. You know, it is what it is. But yeah, I don't know. And then somebody in the chat was mentioning masculine frame. Essentially, just be on your purpose, man. And mental point of origin is something you can check it out. I'm not promoting it, but if you want to read it, it's worth it. The Rational Male by Rollo Tomasi. You know, I've read it. I own a copy of it. I think it's a good book. He has a whole series now. But it'll get into that. And he actually explains mental point of origin. And yeah, you know, he's gotten into some weird drama stuff lately that I don't agree with, but whatever. Point is his books are good. They're solid. I can't knock them. But when he talks about your mental point of origin, it's quite simple. You are your number one priority. Not her, not anything else, or anyone else. It's you. You are your own mental point of origin. All right.
Rhino, I could sum up Rollo's rules real quick.
Go ahead.
Always be a man. And when something happens and you have a reaction to it, vocalize it. Put it to direct action. And that is the definition of staying in frame. Do not ever stop being a man.
There you go.
Always speak your mind.
Oh yeah, man.
Period.
All right, cool. I agree. We're going to go to Outlaw here. He's been quiet tonight, which is unusual for the squirrel. If he's still around.
Oh, that's my southern brother right there.
Well, his mic's muted. I don't know if he's still around. He might be.
He's asleep with his pants off.
He might be out or climbing a tree. One of the two. All right. Why don't we go to Sean St. George? What are your final thoughts, sir?
I don't know. I think Outlaw is hanging out with Bob in his room a little bit too much. They both went to take a smoke break together or something.
Yeah. I don't know quite what's going on there. And I don't know how everybody keeps getting in his room. Like, he needs to start locking his doors at night.
Well, or he just needs to stop showing his cam when he takes off for 30 minutes.
Hey, is that really Pulse Kebab's room, or is that his parents' basement? Because he's always got to fucking go outside to smoke.
That's kind of funny.
Yep, this one has something to say. What do you want to say? Oh, really?
It's like Ghost Dog in the window there.
Yeah.
Hello, Sean.
Isn't it? But no, I think the whole setting up boundaries when you first start dating is a good idea. I've never done it, which is probably why I had such terrible relationships. But you get that done out of the way. You kind of find out your synergy together before emotional investment happens, because that's when shit starts hurting.
Yeah, you're not wrong. All right, looks like a certain squirrel found his way out of the tree.
Oh my god. Yeah, I mean, I kind of sat back and let the other guys say what they wanted to say tonight, but I have found that most women, they suffer from a lack of timing. They don't know how to time anything right, and they're uncoordinated. And if you go back and you look at it, and of course they don't have any kind of a perspective to draw from in the first place, but what they know and see around them, so they're seeing other people do it, so that's what they know to do, right? And
yeah,
they don't understand the importance of hitting the wall. They don't understand the importance of having all this locked down and secure while they're young and fertile, and they suffer because of it. And you, personally, as a MGTOW, I don't feel sorry for them.
You know, it's funny. It's funny you say that because it's almost like, you know, the only comparison, it's terrible, but you look at certain countries and wars that were fought and everything, and people think that could never happen here, and that I can maybe see that disconnect because it was a long time ago and things couldn't possibly be that bad. They could, for the record, but I can see that. But women, They don't seem to understand nor care that the wall is coming for all of them. They don't seem to care that their eggs dry up until it's too late. Like, they all think it could never happen to them. Like, they're all like that one girl we watched earlier. Like, I'm going to be fucking 80 and have 5 boyfriends. Like, no, you're not. No, you're fucking not. It's not going to happen the way you think. Like, you're not going to be hot forever. You're not going to be feminine, fit, fertile, faithful, and friendly. Maybe, probably none of those forever, right? You probably were very few of those to begin with. But they never think it's going to happen to them. It's like, are you out of your mind? Look at every woman older than you. It happens to 100% of women. So get with the fucking program. They'll never get it. I don't think they'll ever get it. I don't think there's ever going to be a point and that might just be their biology, right? But they just can't see beyond the right fucking now. I'm hot now. It doesn't matter. Yeah, it does. But whatever. I agree with you, Outlaw. Let's see. We've got MGTOW Mando. What are your final thoughts tonight, sir?
Well, just gotta keep and do what we can to keep ourselves on course, on frame, however you want to phrase it. And in case of people like me, just try to accept the fact that some things, they might change, they might not, but you gotta deal with it one way or the other.
Yep. All right. Who do we got up next? Let's see. Looks like Rusty, we'll go ahead and do your final thoughts, sir. What are your final thoughts tonight?
My final thoughts is that in just a few years, women, single childless women over the age of 50 are going to become the new welfare class.
Yeah.
I think that there's going to be a crisis in this country, which all Western civilizations are well aware of right now. For the past 10 years, there probably has been up-teen number of secret meetings. And you see, this is the true explanation for why Western civilization has been experiencing illegal immigration at just a crazy proportional level. It doesn't matter if you're Democrat, it doesn't matter if you're Republican. All of our governments are well aware that families are dying. They're well aware that the nuclear family is over with. And you see, most of Western civilization, has the typical Ponzi scheme, which is that the modern day workers' salaries are being cut into and feeding the top retirement people. The only problem is that babies are not being born anymore. Families are being decimated. There is no nuclear family anymore. And so our Western governments have been using illegal immigration as a stopgap measure. They've been using it as a Band-Aid. And that's only going to last so long. MGTOW is having an effect. MGTOW has closed Toys R Us. It's closed chain jewelry stores. It's closed chain florist shops. MGTOW is having an effect. And if any of y'all were ever wondering, hey, are we really making a difference? Yeah, we certainly are. Wedding planners are out of business. This whole entire thing is getting ready to collapse. Now, I'm not advocating Zombieland. I don't believe in the Zombieland theory. what we're experiencing is more like a slow toilet flush of Western civilization. This is a symptom of like being the frog in a pot of slow boiling water. This is going to come on us very, very slowly. And, you know, what's really crazy is you see about feminism, you know, feminism it's just a branch off of a tree. And the tree is communism. And off of that tree is growing feminism, socialism, progressivism, environmentalism, all of those isms that are just absolutely disgusting and diametrically opposed to capitalism. We have a, you know, we were given a unique opportunity here. And right now we are failing. You know, we were a very unique situation in this world. And right now we're failing. You see, communism, feminism, environmentalism, progressivism is like a tick. And it could only exist on a functioning capitalistic society. Feminism cannot survive in a third world country. It can only survive in a first world country. You see, men built this world. We built the buildings. We maintain the infrastructure that we created. We supply the water, the electricity, the nuclear power. We lay the bricks. We make the welds. We do everything. And we have created a society that has allowed feminism to thrive. At the end of the day, you actually can argue that we're actually the guys that are responsible for this shit. And you know, it basically came in 3 different ways. You know, first came the right to vote for women. Then came the sexual revolution in 1964 when the pill came out. And then we have third wave feminism that has ushered in this ridiculous degeneracy, this cancer of transgenderism and the LGBTQ, you know, community. And what I have to say is, men of the West, rise up and absolutely stop supporting this shit. Stop allowing this shit to happen. We have got to come together as a society, and we have got to have morals, values, principles, and ethics. And
oh yeah,
that's really all I got to say.
All right, man. Thank you so much. Well said. All right, we'll take the show out with Jackal then. I don't know what the hell kind of setup he's got there, but Jackal, your final thoughts.
I don't have anything. Close it up.
All right. Leave him alone then. He's in one of those moods tonight. All right, thank you all for watching till the end. What is going on here? Hang on, before we go, I gotta check this out. Is that?
I'm at a fall festival.
I can see how excited you are.
Everywhere.
There it is.
Everywhere.
You knew that joke was going to happen at least once tonight, Rhino.
I still need I need a break where he just does this for 4 minutes. Anyway.
Everywhere. You there. You on the motorcycle. I am everywhere. You.
All right. I see Billy is everywhere. On that note, we're going to get out of here. I don't really have any final thoughts. Rusty did a great job covering that. So I think we'll leave it there. Thank you all for watching again tonight. We'll be back next Friday for sure. Wednesday if you're lucky, or if Billy harasses me. And I will see you then. Y'all have a great night. Thank you for watching. And before I tune completely out, stay tuned for the music. I'll put the link to join the after party in the chats. So stay tuned for that. All right, guys, we will catch you next time. I'm going to put all these guys backstage for a minute. And like I said, look for the link for the after party. You're more than welcome to join, to hang out, ask the guys questions, shoot some shit, whatever you want to do. And I will catch you next time.
We are the arbiters of this society.
Repeat after me. As a good citizen, we must maintain a neutral carbon footprint. Repeat after me. We must eat the bugs. Repeat after me. We must eat the bugs.
This is a world that we create and manage. The people, they need to be controlled. We will give them truths, but only our truths. They are not to seek information anywhere else.
It is my job to keep order. So what you saw didn't happen. Erase everything.
You a grunt? I used to be one, and I was good at it.
I know. Things were simpler then. I have some questions.
You need to understand, we're being hunted.
You're never gonna make it, you're not good enough. There's a million other people with the same stuff. You really think you're different? Man, you must be kidding. Think you're gonna hit it, but you just don't get it. It's impossible, it's not probable, you're irresponsible. Too many obstacles, you gotta stop it, yo. You gotta take it slow, you can't be a pro. Don't waste your time no more. Who the fuck are you to tell me what to do? I don't give a damn if you say you disapprove. I'm gonna make my move, I'm gonna make it soon. And I'll do it cause it's what I wanna fucking do. Cause all these opinions and all these positions, they come in millions. They blocking your vision, but no, you can't listen. That shit is all fiction, cause you hold the power as long as you're driven. There's no way that you make it. And maybe you could fake it, but you're never gonna make it. Are you just gonna take that? Make them take it all back. Don't tell me you believe that. Are you just gonna take that? Or will you fucking fight back? Fucking fight back. You ain't gonna make it, you ain't never ever gonna break it. You can never beat them and they're better than you face it. Thinking that they give a damn, you're not thinking straight, kid. No, they don't give a damn, you got what I'm saying? I'm not fucking playing, I'll give it to you you straight, man. There's too many others and you're not that great, man. Stop what you're saying, stop what you're making. Everybody here knows that you just faking. Nah, I don't wanna hear it anymore. I don't wanna hear it anymore. All these fucking thoughts, they are not what I need anymore. I'm about to shut the motherfucking door on all you poor ass haters with your heads in the clouds, talking out loud so proud. You better shut your goddamn mouth before I do more speak out. It's about to head south.
Never gonna make it. There's no way that you make it. And maybe you could fake it, but you're never gonna make it. Aren't you just gonna take that? Make them take it all back. Don't tell me you believe that. Aren't you just gonna take that? Or will you fucking fight back? Or will you fucking fight back?